it to kick some ass after that happened. In fact, I believe the military enrollment skyrocketed. Anyhow, folks, once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Good evening to you all. We're going to be talking about probably the JCPOA and the fact that Trump is now indicating that he has made a deal with Iran. He's made a deal with Iran. Here's the problem, though. Trump has said he's made a lot of deals and come close to a ceasefire a lot of times. So right now he is saying he's come close to a deal, but I do believe there are some international countries that are also indicating we're close to getting a deal made. But I mean, I've got folks who are now suggesting that when Trump says we're close to a ceasefire or close to a deal or the Strait of Hormuz is open now, as opposed to just trusting Trump, they actually listen, they actually wait and see what the Iranians are going to say. Wow. Now, the Iranians were known as a country you could not trust. You know, they call them state sponsors of terror, et cetera, et cetera. You were not supposed to be able to trust Iran. But there are now Americans in this country indicating that they actually, at the very least, they trust them as much as they trust Trump, or in some cases even more. Some folks in this country, in our great nation, are indicating they trust Iran more than they do our current commander-in-chief. Wow. So let's get into it. So right off the bat, here's what the alleged requirements of this deal are. I took out a quick clip, see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. But there are 5 conditions for this Iran deal coming from Trump. And this clip here says, Washington says Iran must meet 5 key conditions before a new agreement can move forward, focusing on nuclear restrictions, maritime security, and regional stability. Number 1, no nuclear weapons. That's pretty much a given. Iran must permanently abandon any nuclear weapons program. I can tell you right now, that's never, ever going to happen. That's never going to happen. They may do it to our satisfaction in the interim, but look, I think they're smart enough to realize that until they get a nuclear weapon, they're going to be dealing with the United States. Maybe now, maybe 5, 10, 20 years from now, but we're going to keep coming back. Until you get a way of scaring off the bigger nations, they will be back. Wow, thank you for that, Scumbag Steve. Appreciate that. Or better yet, Scumbag, thank you for those headphones. Appreciate that. Never seen those before. Number 2, keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Strait of Hormuz must remain open for unrestricted global shipping. Apparently, Trump is saying that we've gotten a deal somewhat, but the message coming out of Tehran, Iran, is that they have not agreed to keep the strait open. Scumbag, shout out to you. So they have not agreed to do that, even though the Trump administration is saying that that's part of this deal they've hammered out. This is why I'm saying you got to listen to both sides of this, because Trump is telling us something about the deal, about the strait, about a ceasefire, and then the government of Iran is releasing totally opposite information. So keep that in mind. Trump has been stating that Iran has been begging for a ceasefire ever since the war began. So keep that in mind. Number 3, remove sea mines. Wow. All naval mines in regional waters must be cleared and eliminated. So assuming they know where these motherfuckers are. I understand when you put a mine in open water, it can flow with the current. The mine doesn't stay where you put it. It can move. So, I mean, if there's heavy current in the water, thank you for the hat and mustache there, Kel Brew, appreciate it. Yeah! Mines can move. So even if Iran goes looking for the sea mines they dropped, there's no guarantee they're going to find them all. So that could be interesting. They don't just lock these things to the ocean floor. Some of them can be just dropped and they just kind of stay down there. If the current is heavy, they can roll and go in any directions. Come back with the lemonade. Number 4, destroy enriched uranium. Powers must be removed and destroyed under supervision. I cannot imagine Iran's going to let us in their country. I cannot imagine. Now, if you can find a third world nation that both Iran and the U.S. trust, maybe. But do you allow the enemy in your country where they're driving all around? Shirt 14, appreciate the hat and mustache. Because keep in mind, if we let American inspectors in that country, they're not just going to be looking for uranium. Let's be clear about how this shit works. We're going to be looking at radar installations, weapons, driving to military bases, trying to see what equipment they. I mean, it's basically an open invitation to spy on their nation. There's no way we're going to drive around the Iranian countryside only looking for enriched uranium. We're going to be looking at everything else, the condition of their roads, all of that shit. Would they really let us in their country to do that? I know we wouldn't. I'll just say that. I know we would not. Number 5, last one, no financial payments. The agreement will involve no direct financial exchange. Then why the hell would Iran take part in this? That ain't gonna happen. So these are the 5. By the way, remember in the beginning, they were killing 30,000 protesters, and we were there to liberate the Iranians. We wanted regime change, and Trump wanted to have some say-so in that. That's another thing that he publicly stated. So at least 2 out of the 3, the third being to get the uranium out of there. At least 2 of the original 3 objectives stated by President Trump himself are apparently off the table completely. There's no mention of liberating protesters from being killed in Iran anymore. There's no mention of regime change in America having say-so in it anymore. So 2 of the 3 objectives we're not even pursuing anymore. So we're going to be comparing this to the JCPOA by Obama and this one here. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. We'll start taking callers momentarily. We do have another topic, but before we get into that, since we're talking about taking down the Obama deal, I think it's worthy of hearing his opinion on it. Assuming my mind. A lot of time
wrestling with the threat of a nuclear Iran. How do you think things are being handled right now there?
It is doubtful that any agreement that arises is going to be significantly different or a significant improvement from the deal that we had in the first place and had worked for a long stretch.
You notice when Obama says it's not going to be it ain't going to be much better, he started smiling like, you ain't doing shit. But he had if you look at it briefly, he had a quick smirk on his face when he said it's not going to be a significant improvement.
For a long stretch of time before the United States pulled out of it. So I'm hopeful that bombing stops and ordinary people are no longer suffering as a consequence of the war. And then in retrospect, it's a reminder that on a lot of difficult foreign policy problems, the notion that we can just bully our way or bomb our way to solutions may sometimes seem appealing, but the fact of the matter is that taking the time to explore diplomacy and exhaust the possibilities of coming up with deals that don't solve 100% of the problem, but solve 80, 90% of the problem, while avoiding the necessity of going to war.
Now, you heard what he said. He's talking about diplomacy versus just threatening to blow everybody off the face of the earth. And here's what's interesting. that he's talking about we need to start considering that more. He's really targeting the Trump administration by saying that you need to realize you can't just threaten to kill everybody and get what you want. But here's the odd thing about it. Keep in mind, Trump is the one that's known for the art of the deal. We were electing a businessman, a deal maker. Yet you got one of his predecessors saying that the way you're doing things, which is basically just bullying and threatening to kill everybody, you need to start considering diplomacy more. Apparently, it took the Obama administration 3 years to come up with that Obama deal. So there you go. Trump's only been at war with Iran since March or late February. So go figure. So we will talk about whether or not you think Trump's deal will be better for America, better for this great nation than what Obama did. Because remember the whole thing about piles of cash being handed to Iran? It sure sounds like it's got a lot of similarities. In the comments, briefly, Jay Sid, appreciate your support. So Cankles McGee, I guess that's a derogatory name for Trump, and he even turned my screen orange with his support. So Cankles McGee is the deal maker and made a worse deal than what we had before with the world's most powerful military at his disposal. Took Obama 2 years to make a deal, and this dumbass is going to make it in 60 days. Yeah, that's look, as I just stated, I think Trump was fresh off a high with Venezuela, and it was his belief was we're going to just go in there gangbusters and threaten to kill everybody until they bow to our will. That's my humble opinion, is he thought Iran was going to be a cakewalk similar to Venezuela. And that way he would just get them to bend to his will no matter what. Apparently that's not working. So we're going to talk about that and hear your opinion on that. Also, this happened last night. I don't even know what to do with this other than play the clip because it happened at an event thrown by the Trump administration.
Shout out to Trump for having the balls to put some shit like this on. And if I'm going to say anything, there's only one person more incredible than the Incredible Hulk, and that's my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now listen, Alex Pereira, I want a shama on your mama. And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Now, and Joe Rogan takes over from that point. Joe Rogan does not address that comment at all. And apparently the Trump administration has refused to condemn it. The Trump administration has been asked by the media to condemn that comment at an event they threw, and they refused to condemn it. So why the hell is that? I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Why the hell would they not condemn that? It's just ridiculous that he would say that. I suppose if he had got up there and said Trump is a pedophile, they would have had a different opinion. But for him to get up, why would Michelle Obama be attacked at a UFC event? She hasn't spoken out about this or said anything. Why the hell did a impromptu assault on Michelle Obama come up? She hasn't been in the White House in, what she left, 2006, almost 10 years. Why the hell would an attack on her come up? No clue whatsoever. Last but not least, I was not going to talk about this one, but apparently it is somewhat breaking news. So I do want to bring it to you and get your opinion on this. Tap the screen, get us up to 10,000 likes. This is a MAGA-friendly program, of course. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie till I'm having dinner with Q. This is going to be uncensored. That's the way it always is. You can be critical of anybody, including yours truly. That's how we do it with free speech.
Federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees, not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president. because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government.
By way of yes or no in the comments, do you think Gavin Newsom is going too far when he says that Trump is the most corrupt president in American history? Do you agree with him, yes or no?
Into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents. His personal attorney now runs the Department of Justice, which has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey, Tish James, Adam Schiff. He sent them after Tim Walz, and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused.
Now, I will say this, and now Gavin Newsom is saying that Trump is using the DOJ to go after him and his family. We'll find out about that. Now, I'm not going to say I don't know anything more than that because obviously Trump is going to claim they've done something worthy of going after, as opposed to Gavin Newsom saying that they're just looking for something to string me up on. But Gavin Newsom is right in pointing out all the other people that Trump has went after with the DOJ. I don't see how any attorney that works for the DOJ does not get in some serious trouble once Trump is gone. Like every single one of his enemies had a criminal case looked into. Like all of them are committing crimes. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Everybody from Tim Walz to Letitia James, Jack Smith, every one of your enemies has committed a crime to the point where an investigation was opened by the DOJ. Really? All of them? So I do believe once Trump is no longer in power, and look, Trump may ride off into the sunset a wealthy old man and live a full life, which he's already done. But the people that are around him that are participating in it are the ones, because once Trump is gone, it's going to be up to them to answer for why they were doing this stuff. Most of them folks are all highly skilled attorneys. So was Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi had a really good resume in Florida before she became Trump's attorney general or the Department of, whatever, worked for the DOJ for him. She knew what she was doing was wrong while she was doing it. And the guys he have in there now know it as well. So I don't believe they're going to fare as well as Trump is in the future. But what do you think? You think Gavin Newsom is worthy of an investigation, or do you see it the way I'm seeing it, that all of your enemies can't be committing crimes? Not to mention, look at all the investigations that the DOJ are doing that are culminating to nothing. They're coming. James Comey, nothing's going to come out of that. Nothing came out of Letitia James. Nothing's going to come out of E. Jean Carroll. Jack Smith, nothing's going to come out of all these investigations. And so do you see it maybe that all of these folks are criminal, or do you see what I'm saying, that Gavin Newsom may be right, that Trump is using the DOJ to just go after his enemies? So you guys know how the program is ran. I'll go straight to the comment section. Gavin Newsom says Trump is the most corrupt president, but Gavin Newsom hasn't become president yet. Okay, so you believe Gavin Newsom will be corrupt, but because Gavin Newsom is not in there, you're kind of admitting that he's right up to this point. You just believe Gavin Newsom will surpass it, but you're not denying what he's saying. So in other words, once Gavin Newsom becomes president, Trump will be the second most corrupt president in history, if I'm interpreting your comment correctly. Republicans and their supporters, says Kelbrew, think that mentioning Jesus Christ somehow validates their conduct, not realizing the Bible condemns slander and lying. Hypocrites, says Kelbrew. It's interesting. I meant to mention that this UFC fighter gets up there and thanks Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, and then goes right into this spiel about Michelle Obama being a man. Right before all this Jesus shit. I gotta agree with you, Kelbrew. Those two things have no place in the same form. It did look bad. It did look bad in my opinion. It's frozen on Substack. Substack is frozen. I'll restart that if it's frozen. Where's Big Mike when Obama needs him? I guess that's another reference to Michelle Obama. Gavin not even close to Trump's horrible deeds. No, he hasn't been. No, Gavin Newsom doesn't have the power to do all of the stuff that Trump has done. Doesn't even have the power. Now, that's not to say that as a conservative may not be correct in the future, but I'm still trying to figure out, and I was going to talk about this. Are we at 10,000 yet? Tap the screen. I'm still trying to figure out, in the pursuit of waste, fraud, and abuse, why MAGA is not upset with all of Trump's lavish spending. I don't get it. I mean, everything from the reflective pool to the jet from Qatar, the Tribunal Arch. He had a military parade on his birthday last year. Now we got a UFC fight on his birthday this year. A ballroom, his name's on the Memorial Center that he's fighting to keep that around. And he got photos of himself all around D.C. I don't understand, with MAGA being so adamant that we need to curtail waste, fraud, and abuse, why are they okay with this guy spending tax money on himself? All this stuff is mainly on himself to make his surroundings more lavish and more enduring. Most Americans are not going to D.C. anytime soon. So why does D.C. need all of this upgrade? What about all the other cities that got roads and bridges falling apart? Do we really need to put 20 million into a pool first? So I don't get that one. How much of a cut of the Qatar Iran money did Trump get? It's a good question. There's no way to know. There's no way to know. When you're making deals like this, you can easily, now that Trump is selling cryptocurrency and phones and coins and all kinds of other stuff, you can't give me the money directly. How about you purchase this amount of my crypto? Maybe buy your friends a few phones. I mean, there's ways of, because he has so many businesses. If he's agreeing to deals, there's all kinds of ways that he can make money on the back end from doing this stuff. So I don't know. Trump said the arch he wants to build that will block the view of Arlington National Cemetery is for him. It's not being built for the people. It's for him. Wow. Robert Wood, I do believe I've heard that. That's crazy that he would come out and admit that shit, though. That is really crazy. I may have missed a super chat. I want to make sure I didn't failed it. Oh, that was Handsome Conservative. Oh, so tap the screen. Are we at 10,000? We'll go ahead and take the first caller. Talking about Trump's Iran deal versus Obama's. Who's likely to come out on top here? Good evening, Jeremy. Welcome to the program. If it brings them up, give me a second here. It's kind of goofing around here. There we go. Jeremy, good evening.
There we go. Yeah, sometimes TikTok does that shit.
Yeah.
But how you feeling?
I'm hanging in there. It's just starting the program out. So Trump is allegedly coming close to a conclusion with Iran. What say you? You think it'll be better than Obama's deal?
Probably not. Like here's the thing. I'm not too familiar with what Obama's deal was and what Trump's deal is. I don't know the particular ins and outs. But Trump is such an egotistical idiot, and he's so much in the pocket of Israel that it's not going to be something that benefits us. Like there's a certain level of predictive power that we have here to just understand what's really going to probably happen. Now, if all of a sudden we read the deal, they come to an agreement, and it turns out to be really good, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. But when you constantly have an influence by a foreign nation like Israel in the picture, and Israel has a lot of interest in Iran and their nuclear program, it's going to be very, very hard for me to take what it's.
But wait a minute, you're saying that Israel is influencing Trump. The Trump administration has not admitted that. What are you saying? They're doing something behind the scenes? Trump is making it sound like he's making all these decisions himself.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Why would you admit to it? That'd be like going to court for homicide and be like, yeah, I did it. But don't put me in jail. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't disagree. So you believe what Netanyahu is like a puppeteer controlling Trump?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't believe Jewish conspiracies and all that shit. I think that it's more like foreign nation conspiracies. I'm more than willing to say a organized, powerful government is able to influence foreign governments pretty well. I don't think individual Jewish people have much to do with it.
Why would we? But Trump is his own man. I mean, he's obviously been a well-known businessman most of his life. Why would he bow down to Israel? Why would he allow Israel to dictate what he does?
Well, to be perfectly honest, so there's the more conspiratorial angle with Epstein and the idea that Epstein, being a Mossad agent, had dirt on him or something like that, and that whoever's handling what Epstein did now is putting pressure on Trump. I don't know. That's very, very out there. That's hard to prove. I think that a much more reasonable likelihood is that Israel, up until very recently, was kind of the universal agreed upon good thing. There were some people who were against Israel because of their treatment of the Palestinian people. There were some people like that, but for the most part, people agreed that the Jews needed a homeland because of the Holocaust. You know, they had gone through a lot of the pogroms in Russia, the expulsions throughout Europe, multiple different times. They had been and it's been very proven that they've been documented as a very abused group of people throughout most of the time. So supporting Israel or some kind of homeland, even if you don't support how they're enforcing their rules, believing that Israel should have the right to exist and there should be a place for Jews to go has been kind of a universally agreed upon thing. Personally, I'm not a Zionist, but I do think that it's okay for Jews to have a homeland.
Okay.
Because Muslims have that. It's Saudi Arabia, because of Mecca.
But do you think the Jewish people, the Israelis, are good neighbors at this point? Because some of these countries are claiming they're encroaching into their territory.
And that's the thing. I'm glad you pointed that out. That was going to be my next point, which is that even if you agree that Israel should be allowed to exist in some form or another, how they're conducting themselves has not been particularly good. It's kind of like if you agree that there should be police, but the police are abusing their constituents, the people that they're doing. You don't have to want to believe in banning the police to say, hey, the way you're doing this is not okay. And the thing is that because there's so much pent up love for Israel from older conservatives and from Democrats for years and years and years and years and years. And it's only very recently in the newest Gen Z or late millennials, those that are in politics, that are actually giving gruff to Israel. There's a lot of universal support for the idea of go along with what Israel wants. There's actually a law in my state.
Oh shit! They're dragging us into war, though. Go along with what Israel wants. We're based on what you're saying. If what you're saying is true, we're in war because of them.
Yes, I am saying that. And here's the thing: I'm not a fan of the Ayatollahs. I am not a fan of Iran. But two people can be wrong at the same time.
True.
And the thing is that this shows you just how much influence Israel has. Not the Jews, but Israel as a state has over the people of the United States. In my state of Wisconsin, there's actually a law that says that people who are employed by the states are not legally allowed to personally boycott the state of Israel. Wow. I'm not even joking. Yes, that is a real thing. And it's not like they're saying oh, you can't use government funds to boycott Israel. They're saying you're not allowed. You sign a contract, you are not legally allowed to boycott Israel with your own pay.
I haven't heard.
That is the thing.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, so apparently you don't have as many. The Israelis don't believe in freedom as much as apparently we do. I want to ask you this though, real quick. We'll get back onto this topic. But Cody Likes in the comments says, because I mentioned all of the lavish gifts and stuff that Trump is giving himself in D.C. He says the repairs to D.C. are the preview of the feds. The other cities are the purview rather of this state and city in sites. Obama spent $38 million on the pool and nothing happened. Trump spent $8 million and it is finished. Now I'm asking that question. I want to get your take on this because now you voted for Trump. How many times? Just once?
Twice.
You voted for which two elections? The 16. Which one did you not vote for?
I didn't think he was a real conservative, and it turns out I was right. But I was in 2016. I voted down Ticket. In 2020, I voted for him because I liked his first term. And in 2024, I voted for him again.
Okay, so you voted for him. You voted for him against Kamala Harris and Biden. So because Biden beat him in 2020 and he beat Kamala Harris in 2024. So how do you respond? Because now obviously Trump ran on getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. And I'm asking that question, which is what he was talking about with the reflective pool. How does MAGA, now you're no longer a Trump supporter, I believe, if I'm correct, but how do you respond to him spending tax money on all these lavish items for himself or to beautify the area around him as opposed to other citizens? It's only in DC. He's doing all this stuff to beautify. Just, like I said, reflective pool, building tribunal arches and all this stuff, while saying he's against waste, fraud, and abuse. What's your take on that?
So here's the thing. Some of them are more egregious than others. I'm actually okay with spending a small percentage of the budget on some beautification, because the way I look at it is Europe is very, very beautiful, and they pride themselves on how beautiful their buildings are.
They also give their citizens health care and tuition. Why don't we pride ourselves on that?
Oh, hold on. That's kind of like a secondary. That's like a non sequitur. Let's just stick to the main problem. Now, here's the thing. I think that it's okay to do that when you've already taken care of other issues. So let's say the United States is like a household, right?
Okay.
Let's say that you want to make your house more beautiful. You want to put some garden in. You want to put some flowers in. Maybe have a garden you could grow potatoes and tomatoes and other vegetables in. You want to really enjoy your house. You got to do that after you've taken care of the kids' health.
Right, I agree.
After you bought the food, So it's concerning because we have a lot of things that we should be taking care of right now, and I don't think the government. I think there is a lot of money in the government that is being wasted other places other than what Trump's spending on. I think if you were to keep the taxes the same, but were to get rid of actual waste, fraud, and abuse and save us a whole bunch of money, then you can work on beautification projects, because it's been shown by several different psychological studies that being surrounded by beautiful architecture and surroundings actually is good for your mental health. And I would like America to be a beautiful place, because we kind of look like a shopping mall or a strip mall rather than a beautiful country, other than our natural beauty. Our natural beauty is not the same as our architecture. But again, take care of the things that matter more first.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you don't think that Trump has done that.
No, unfortunately. And here's the thing, Tim. I want to say this about my disassociation with MAGA. Look, if Trump had actually made good on his promises, I'd be singing in the rain. I'd really be happy, And people say I had no reason to not vote for Kamala. I have my reasons.
Kamala. Go ahead. Kamala.
It doesn't matter. She lost anyway.
Oh my God. Go ahead. Keep going.
She was very pro-choice. I'm not. I only have one exception, which is life of the mother. That wouldn't.
So you're okay with if she sexually assaulted, making her carry the rapist baby to term?
Yes. I know that sounds harsh.
It is harsh.
But here's the thing. In my opinion, number one, abortion will not undo the rape. It won't.
But it won't make it. It won't make the trauma last another 9 months, though. I mean, that's what's worse. You're gonna not to mention all of the changes to the woman's body, not to mention all the expense she going. Me and the handsome conservative have went over this, but I brought up a few things. If you're going to force her after being sexually assaulted to carry a baby to term, are you going to cover her medical bills 100%? Because she's going to incur medical bills from this. I mean, not to mention all the permanent changes to her body.
I think the way it should go is twofold. If the attacker has his funds should be
what if he doesn't get caught? What if you haven't even caught him yet? Or what if he doesn't have the funds?
Well, if he doesn't have the funds, the state should step in.
So the lost time off work and all of that, they should compensate her.
Yes.
Okay. Well, they haven't mentioned doing any of that.
And again, that this is all for like while she's pregnant and after she gives birth, because I don't think, personally, I don't even like that we even charge people even to give birth in the first place. I think that's one of the few things I'd be okay with the government's just doing away with and paying for themselves.
The problem is, I do believe a lot of this stuff would be available, but there is I know some folks are not going to like when I say this, but there is an anti-minority sentiment that if I think if the country was all one group of people, some of the stuff you're talking about, some of the stuff that the liberals talk about would be available. But when all of your tax money starts going to minorities that are having a bunch of kids, when the white side of the aisle is, white people don't have as many kids as the minorities do. So they're not going to want all their money going to minorities that are having kids. Are we going to cover all their births for free? They're going to stop that real quick.
Well, we don't have to cover their kids. It's for the rest of their
You
lives.
said just the birth alone is thousands of dollars.
I know, but that's the thing. Once it's done, it's done. It's going to be millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars to keep supporting their kids on welfare for the rest of their lives versus, a few $1,000 or it's like for the birth done by, have a good day, sir. That seems like a pretty reasonable thing. I personally want to find out why ambulances cost so much to ride in the first place and find ways to slash those prices where it costs less for the ambulance to charge, so that way they don't have to charge those people as much. But that's a different topic for a different time.
Yeah, you want less regulation. You want capitalism with less regulation. That's the kind of stuff that can happen. But before I move it on, so you don't think this nuclear deal under Trump will be any better than under Obama?
Probably not. Look, I have my disagreements with Obama. Okay, I still don't think he was a great president. The drone striker in chief, as I like to call him. But here's the thing: I still think he was a better president, at least compared to Trump in his current term. His current term, he is not doing what he should have done. And I actually will take a little responsibility here. We all thought like Trump was the underdog, and in some ways you could kind of argue that he was to a degree. But we wanted to call a billionaire celebrity game show host. Well, not a game show host, but like a reality TV
pretty
star,
much, yeah,
an underdog. Sure, he had never been in politics before, but I will admit, I kind of went along with the memes. It was like in 2020. I didn't realize, well, come on. Is there anyone more establishment than a literal billionaire?
That has all sorts of inroads to the Clintons, to Giuliani, and I still to this day do not understand how MAGA thought Trump was not a typical politician. That's all he was hanging around. He's been around a bunch of high prominent Democrats. They even bring up that he gave money to Jesse Jackson. Like, this dude been doing nothing but hanging around politicians his whole adult life. He runs and all of a sudden he's not a politician. Last question before I let you go. You heard the clip from the UFC fighter. Did you hear that?
Which one? Was it Sean Strickland?
The one claiming that Michelle Obama's gender is incorrect.
I did not hear about that, but it sounds like something Sean Strickland would say.
Yeah. You think the Trump administration should condemn it? It was thrown at it's one of their events. One of the fighters decided to yell out that she's a man. Do you think they've asked the Trump administration to condemn that comment? The Trump administration, of course, is refusing to do so. What say you?
Here's the thing. I don't think the Trump administration will do anything particularly smart because they just have had like a streak of being absolutely stupid with what they've been doing. But if they were to do anything, my advice would be just say, look, we don't care. It's just a dumb comment from a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. And they should play it off as we're above this. We're above this.
I don't think.
Now, it would be a little hard for us to take that seriously because it's coming from Donald Trump of all people.
Should she sue? Should she? Because Trump has been suing everybody for defamation. Should UFC sue the fighter? Should she sue, which is the path Trump might take?
It's hard to say. No one really wins in a defamation case. You want to know why? Because honestly, most of defamation cases are just absolutely expensive. And
I think Eugene Carroll would disagree with you.
Yeah, she probably would, but even then, it's still really, 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 really expensive. And ultimately, like, you have to prove something that's really hard to prove, which is
how hard is it for her to prove she's not a man? Are you kidding me?
But you have to prove. You have to prove that the person knew that what they were saying was untrue, and that they had malice as intent. So,
I don't know if you.
Again, like my point is, it's really up to her. I would say let her make that decision for herself. It's such a stupid, lame thing. Listen, let's say she is. Who the fuck cares? I don't care. Like I've heard that joke.
It's not about that, Jeremy. The fact is, if she sued him and she is victorious, that would stop, because it's not going to stop. MAGA's going to keep you're saying who cares? Maybe nobody, but they've been saying it the whole time. If she sues and if she is successful, that's going to make the rest of them stop saying it or be very cautious with their words.
Maybe. Again, it's hard to really say, Tim. At the end of the day, I think she should just make that decision for herself and ask herself, like, hey, is this really worth my time? And who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe people will stop bothering her so much, or maybe sometimes, like, there's this thing called the Streisand effect, where if you try to hide something, it just blows it up more. Well, there's a similar effect with, like, reacting to things. There's the old phrase, "Don't feed the trolls." So
they're not gonna. If she doesn't say a word, they're gonna keep doing it. So not reacting to them is literally like fuel. So I don't. This is not a turn the other cheek moment and it'll go away. Not saying. I mean, she wasn't saying anything to provoke this one. So by not saying anything, she's just going to guarantee it keeps happening.
Yeah, she could make a public statement, say this is a disgusting statement and I do not approve of it. And again, I think she could do that regardless of whether she was or not. The answer is I don't know, Tim.
All right.
I don't know.
I'll leave it at that. My take is the only way she's going to stop it is to take some kind of action. I appreciate you coming through, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 40,000, if you will. I think Michelle is enjoying her life, not concerned about these nutcases. True, but she could get the money and donate it to a worthy cause, donate it to an anti-Trump cause just to piss them off, whatever the case may be. I mean, to me, I think it's an easy case. It's not like you wouldn't find a host of liberal attorneys willing to do it pro bono or whatever, or pro se or free, whatever the term I'm trying to look for is. She wouldn't have to pay a penny to do that. She would easily find firms that would step forward and sue that UFC fighter and the UFC for free. And like I said, it's not one of those cases where, by you saying something, you're just going to make it worse or you're drawing attention to yourself. They're doing it anyway. They're doing it anyway. So it doesn't matter if she remains quiet. It's just going to keep happening. Cody Luck says Israel already denounced the deal. Part of the deal was a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. If Trump is influenced by Israel, they are failing. I disagree with you that they're failing. We had war, some would say, because of Israel. Okay, now Israel may be fighting back on the part between them and Hezbollah, but many believe the only reason we went to war, the only reason Trump said that Tulsi Gabbard's intelligence was wrong, because remember, Tulsi Gabbard testified that Iran was not developing a nuclear bomb. Trump stated on Air Force One, she don't know what she's talking about. Okay, then if the woman that's the head of your intelligence agencies has told you something that's incorrect, then who did you get your information from? We still have never found that out. Because that's who was responsible for telling you, is Tulsi Gabbard. So if she don't know what she's talking about, who told you that? So I think Netanyahu may have a little bit more influence than you might be mentioning there, Cody likes. Denkel says Bibi Netanyahu said he ain't got nothing to do with the deal. No, but I think we still have a significant amount of power over Israel. All we do is have to announce to the region, if Israel steps out of line, that we do not stand by their actions. We will not participate. Wait till you get a liberal in there. Wait till you get a liberal in there. That obviously Netanyahu does not like liberals in this country. I mean, just announce first to Netanyahu privately, if you do this, we do not have it. We're not providing backup intel or anything. We're working on a peace deal. If you got some plans of taking military aggression, you're going to be going in it alone. And we're going to announce to the region that we have nothing to do with that. I think that would make Israel back down. Because if the region knows that Israel does not have the backing of the U.S., shit, you would probably have other nations jump in. There are other nations. I mean, I'm assuming the Egyptians still don't like Israel that much. We know Syrians don't like them. We know the Yemens don't like them. There's probably 7 or 8 nations in their region that does not like them, but they don't want to deal with the United States. If the United States says, look, what they did on their own against their wishes, we do not have their back in this, Israel would be in a lot of trouble. So if Trump made it clear to Israel behind the scenes, if you do this, we're going to announce that, I don't think they would act. Obamacare ruined U.S. healthcare. Feds, get out, says Cody Locks. How did Obamacare ruin U.S. healthcare? Because I do recall a lot of folks bitching about how bad healthcare was before Obama came along. I don't recall anybody celebrating how great healthcare was under the Bush administration. So how are you suggesting he ruined it? Now you may think he made it worse. We can have a debate about that, but it's not like people were celebrating how great the U.S. healthcare system was under George W. Bush and before. Cody says abortion has anti-Black roots. Planned Parenthood intentionally targets African Americans because of their founder. How? I do know about Margaret Sanger or whatever the case may be, but how does Planned Parenthood intentionally target African Americans? I'm African American. I've never seen Planned Parenthood call me up and say, you know, I found out you're going to be a father. You know, we'll give you a discount if you get rid of her. I haven't had to. How are they targeting them? By having the care available? And by the way, keep in mind, they do more than just terminate the life of the unborn. There's other services they provide. There's more reasons for America to fight Iran than I can list here, and barely any of them is for Israel. Other than them developing a nuclear weapon, I'd like to know what some of those other reasons are. Considering we've shot down an airliner full of Iranians, we now bombed a schoolgirl full of them. What other reasons do we have to fight them? Because we've done a lot of bad shit to them too. We always talk about how they've done this and done that. We don't talk about all the wrongful stuff we've done to them as well. So keep that in mind. Ignorance is bliss, says Mojak. Tap the screen, get us on up to 35,000. We'll go straight to the box. What did I just do now? We'll go to, I thought I saw, what's the name in it, but apparently he's not. We'll go to Stick Darula. Good evening, Stick. Yes, sounds about right. Who started an ignorant bliss, Charlie? Good evening, Stick.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. Rondeal 2.0. Think it'll be an improvement this time?
You mean 39.0?
Well, he did say we were close to having a ceasefire a couple times. Yeah, he said that a few times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
Whoa.
But Tim, listen, it was all just it's for show, man. It was his birthday yesterday. He was trying to do the UFC, say he had a deal. What else? Well, he wanted his name on the Kennedy Center, but they took that down. But what they did was they left the banner up so you couldn't see that it was stripped.
The big ass tarp.
Yeah. So I mean, it was for sure, man. I mean, he's 80 years old. Sorry about that. He's 80 years old. He's on his way up out of here. He's trying to leave his mark. The best thing he can do for himself right now is either enrich himself or put his name on everything, and that's he's trying to do both.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously enriched himself significantly. The name on everything, I don't know about that one because, listen, he's not earning this stuff. He's doing it himself. And most likely, once he leaves office, his name is going to come off of most of this stuff. It was going to absolutely come off the memorial once he was gone. What else is his name on? Shit, I'm trying to think.
He's trying to listen. He's trying to build the ark. He's trying to put his name on money. At this point, he's probably going to go for Mount Rushmore and some other things. He ain't gonna tell me.
Well, there are some Republicans that may do it. And Mojack said did he fall asleep at the UFC fight just like at the Knicks game?
Yeah, he did. And he jumped a little bit too in his sleep. Yeah.
He doing, it kind of remind me of my boy used to say, you're doing too much. At this point, if you fall asleep in public that often, you're doing too much. Certainly when this is what me and MAGA went back and forth about. MAGA Reacts went forth about this a few days ago, where he's claiming Trump has a very tough schedule. He does a lot, so it's okay for him to fall asleep because he's always up doing. But at this point, you're falling asleep too fucking much. Like, quick. I mean, now he's turning into a Weekend at Bernie's kind of guy.
Well, he don't have the gray hair like Obama, right? Because he probably get his bleached and blonde, bad built, butch body type dude. Obama showed his through his grain over the years, right? He showed that he had a vigorous schedule, but every speech he was up, he was attentive, he was well spoken. You never caught him slacking. I think one time we caught him at his window at his house smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, but they're going to compare him to Biden, though. Biden, they're closer in age. They're going to say Biden was sleeping more than Trump.
Well, Biden was not sleeping more than Trump. Biden wasn't falling asleep in front of cameras. Biden was falling, as an old man would, a person that can still ride a bike. He fell off his bike. But we all fell off our bike, and we were young when we did it.
I'm getting to the point now where, considering Trump coined the name Sleepy Joe Biden, it sure is not wearing well. I mean, that's not aging well with him falling asleep like this, because Biden came out and stated during the campaign that he needs to have a shorter schedule and be done by 8 o'clock or something like that, and the right hammered him about that. But now that Trump is often being seen out after 8 o'clock falling asleep, his comments, his attacks on Biden's ability to, failure to stay awake, it's not aging well because he's doing it now a lot.
And that's the whole thing for every, what was it? For every accusation, it's a mega confession. He's confessing all the time about different things that he does by pointing the finger at somebody else. And then, Lord and behold, here we are. We find out Trump has done it, or Trump did it, or Trump was doing it during the time that he was pointing the finger. It's just one of those things, the waste, fraud, and abuse.
Bro, he wasn't falling asleep like this. Trump wasn't falling asleep like this until just recently, though.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
That's a good point.
Right? We got rumors that he's very flagellant, right? But he plays it off. You know what I'm saying? He can be right in front of the cameras. The cameras can pick it up, hear it. The women behind him, the men behind him, everybody's making that Le Pew looking face like they just smelled the skunk off Looney Tunes. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he's doing a lot of things showing you his body is shutting down. It took Nipsey Hussle to defecate himself after getting unalived. This man defecates himself while he's alive. Big difference.
You don't believe his body is aging to the point where he's not going to be able to physically finish his term, though, do you?
Well, I hope so.
Oh my God. What?
So.
What?
But them cankles is a I'm not a doctor, but I've been told them cankles is a sign of heart failure. So, go on, Big Mac, do your job. And he keep loving you. Keep on. Stay in the bed with him. Let that
you really want, but wait a minute. Stick, I asked you, are you suggesting that his body is failing to the point where he may not be able to finish his term? And your response was, I hope so. You want his body to fail, which could mean him perishing. You want him to, you want that to happen?
Hey, have at it. He don't care. I mean, hundreds of kids at a school in Iran, every day he took from, what was it, the USAID, they took from that, him and Elon. They ain't no good. They don't mean nobody no good. They're not helping any U.S. citizens. Neither one of them. I'm really speaking about Trump, but neither one of them helped anybody. I mean, he's fired federal workers. He's pretty much did everything that Ms. Harris told us that he would do. And like I said before, looking back, I would hope, but you got a lot of them that's just going to vote on racism regardless of the fact. But I would hope if we had a time machine that everybody sees the way shit is now, that they would go back and vote for Ms. Harris. I know it's not possible, but I really wish that now that they know what they know, that their heart would change and they will vote for the next best thing versus just somebody. He was a terrible candidate. He was a terrible person. We got what we got right now, and that's why we're going through what we're going through.
I don't know if I don't know if you could go back in time, as you said. I don't think people would vote for Ms. Harris because I still got a lot of MAGA saying Trump is the best president we've ever had. They still think he's not only would they vote for him, they think some people are saying they'd vote for him a fourth time.
Tim, as much as they say that shit, you don't believe it?
I don't know.
Listen, you don't believe that shit, Tim. You don't. Because guess what? As much as I say that you fluff it, you have your moments where you point them down and you take their damn pants off and you make them all butt-ass naked up and down the damn street because of the stupid shit that they be saying. MAGA reacts, he say some dumb-ass shit. Sometimes the handsome conservative, he say some dumb-ass shit. And you have the dumbest of them all, goddamn straight talk.
He was in the audience a minute ago. I don't know what happened to Straight Talk. He was in the audience, but I don't know. Listen. Yeah. I don't want to go Nino Brown and walk somebody down the street naked, but I just look, I like to let the folks speak. Yeah, if they say something worthy of criticizing, I will suggest that. But I mean, Trump has a common too. So everybody don't hate the guy.
No, I'm not saying everybody hates the guy. And then just back on you real quick. It's not that you do the Nino Brown.
Okay.
See, what you do is you sweet talk them. You feel me?
No, I don't.
You hit them with the Huggy Bear. And you act like they pimp. They see that damn red ass hat. They come over there. They say, "Yes, handsome liberal."
Oh my!
Let me see what crazy shit I can say to you, because I know you like to make the show real decent. So I said the dumbest shit I can say. Yeah, you have that power.
I don't know if MAGA saying. Hold on.
Look, I see you got the gold on. Look, you see you got the gold on around the wrist. Yeah, that's that pimp shit.
I don't know if MAGA, I'm not going to say MAGA is saying dumb shit. I'm going to say MAGA believes different direction for this country than the liberals do.
Man, stop it. See, once again, now you're getting that little cooter wet. That's what you're doing with that. When you say little shit like that, you get that little cooter wet. They love hearing you say that. They can't wait. I hope he picks me next. I hope he picks me next. You say the most dumbest, outlandish shit that I know it.
What the fuck?
The way he says that's MAGA.
Okay.
That's MAGA, man. They get up here, they mouth be drooling. I don't even see them on the fucking camera, and I know they mouth drooling. They can't wait to talk to Tim, the handsome liberal. It's just you pimping them the right way.
Hold on. Even though I disagree with all the shit you just said, I do hear some good in this. Maybe it is about time we have more folks on the left or on the right that are willing to talk to folks all the way on the other side of the aisle. So if it makes me a fluffer or a pimp or somebody who's salivating, I'll take it, because I do believe this is what we need. We need open dialogue from all sides of the aisle instead of an echo chamber where somebody is hosting a live or hosting a social media platform and everybody that's tuned in all agree with them. I do believe we should have it like this.
No, I ain't mad at you, Tim, because I mean, the only time that I feel like I'm gonna say the old me, because I have changed in this last week or so since this Carmelo thing had done went down.
Oh no!
What I'm trying to tell you is Listen, like another brother said, man, I see the bigger picture. I see you laying them down. Now, I wish you would change up your lingo a little bit, but you know, old dogs can learn new tricks, but I don't think you can, bro. I would actually bet you that you can't go 2 days without saying blacks. I would bet you that. I would bet you $50 in front of everybody right now. You can't go 2 days without saying blacks.
Listen, I don't think half of the audience see that the way you see it, though. I had Takesha and many others up here like, I've been saying the same shit too. I didn't even know it.
I'm going to say it again, Tim. I don't care about what nobody else say. This is between me and you. I bet you $50 you can't do 2 days.
I can't guarantee that.
Yeah. I know you can't.
But you know, how do you respond to folks that say maybe you're just too racially sensitive? You see race in a lot more things than others might see it in.
Maybe I would say, just like a lot of people say, that the Democrats wasn't listening during the election, and that's the reason the message was lost. I would say you're losing the message in what I'm saying. Like you're not hearing me. You see how we can put that out there? Like it's simple. If you can know not to say black, not to say black.
Yeah, but are we going to really? How do we get somewhere as a people, particularly being minorities, when we're always trashing a white man, constantly calling them all racist, even though many of them fought on our behalf and everything from abolition to the civil rights movement? A lot of white people have been our allies over the years. How do we move forward when you're trashing them all and calling them all racist?
So it's a lot of people that's on this app that are accomplices and not allies. They are actually accomplices, right? We need more accomplices, not allies. So at the end of the day, if you got an accomplice, hold on to him. Yeah, that is a token. Hold on to that motherfucker, right?
A token.
Yeah, almost a token, but we're not gonna spend it. Because it's not an ally. An ally is a token. A motherfucker that's right there with you in the trenches, that's a co-conspirator. We need co-conspirators right with us, hand in hand. Going forward, though, Tim, at the end of the day, man, if you want me or anybody else not to use the N-word, right? It should be the same for any other word that somebody says is offensive. I can't go out of my way to offensively call a Chinese man a certain word or a white person a certain word. It's just one word.
It's not one word because it's not one word though. Blacks is one, color is one. Now you're talking. Obviously, the N word is another. It's like the white side of the aisle was like, look, we realized what happened back then was wrong, but now you're fucking with the dictionary. You're taking words that we can't say constantly and calling us racist.
So when in the dictionary did it become okay to say that an African was a black or a blacks? No, that never was true. That wasn't the Webster's dictionary. Not even Webster's had that in there as that. Now, Negro, yeah. Negas.
I'm going to tell you, even as an African American, this stuff doesn't offend me at all. Now, the N-word, I can see, colored, I can see, because I can see the historical context. I can see where people were lynched with those two words. But this other new stuff like blacks, I don't see the history behind it. To me, it looks like the African American community just picked another word to try to censor white people from saying. Where's the history behind the use of the word blacks?
So then, would Ms. Harris be considered a black?
She's a black person, yes. She is. I'm sure her driver's license says black.
So why did the racist people that we know as MAGA, why did they say that she wasn't black?
Otherizing.
Nah, they were bullshitting. And you bullshitting with the gaslight, knowing what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
She get her ass pulled over, she's a black lady.
Yeah.
So again, they don't get to tell me who's black and who's not. Just like I'm telling them they don't get to say blacks. And they don't get to say.
So what do you mean they don't get to? How do you tell a group of people what they?
No. Just like they this together real quick and think about this. They paint our kids as men, but before the 50s, maybe even the 60s, and to this day, you still got them racist people calling grown-ass men boys. I need white folks to make their fucking mind up. We either men or are we boys? Because either one of them can whoop your ass. That's neither here nor there. But the point I'm trying to make is we done with you telling us what's okay. If I tell you, check this out, I don't like that bullshit, then stop it, don't do it anymore, and fuck off.
All right.
If you can't do that, then there's consequences.
Well, you can't be violent based on words, Stick.
No, I didn't say I was.
What kind of consequences? You say what? Give me some examples of those consequences.
Okay, the consequences is I could be like Charleston White and snitch on you. The consequence is I could get close enough to where I could touch you in the wrong way. So those are the two things right now that you got going on. I can either snitch on you or whoop your ass.
That's violent. You just said violence. You just said violence was not part of the answer. Now you're talking about whooping ass.
No. I'm giving a two-part answer. I'm telling you, I can either snitch on you and get you locked up, right? I can get you locked up, or I can whoop your ass.
Which is a crime.
Either one of them ain't good for you.
Well, the second one ain't good for the second one ain't good for you either. It's a crime. I gotta move it on, but you can't put your hands on people due to words.
I get that, but I said if I get close enough to you, or if you're close enough to me, look, check this out. That's the reason what happened to Camelo. You got too fucking close. So mind your business, and you'll be okay. If that mad cowboy would have minded his fucking business, kept his hands to his fucking self, he'd still be here.
And Carmelo Anthony wouldn't be doing a 35 bid. I mean, Carmelo Anthony is not in a place to celebrate.
Right, and white folks need to stay out of black folks' business, period. We would still have Tulsa had they stayed out of fucking
It's interesting you saying that white folks should stay out of black folks' business when Carmelo Anthony was the one that went over there and sat bad on white folks. He didn't have to do that. I gotta move it on.
That's bluffing at its finest, right?
I'm just telling you, he didn't have to do that.
That boy was invited.
Okay, all right.
Invited up under the tent. He was invited up under the tent. They approached him. They should have minded their fucking business. Don't do that fluffing shit. All right, Tim.
All right, I gotta go, Stick. Tap the screen and get the lights on up. No, he was invited over there too, but I heard the invite. I ain't fluffing, damn it. Tap the screen real quick in the comments. Cody Locks, appreciate the love, says Planned Parenthood, the clinics are mostly in minority areas, then white, and stop perpetuating Iran propaganda. It has been confirmed that school was struck by a misfire by Iran. What? You're telling me it has been confirmed that Iranian school full of girls was struck by a misfired Iranian weapon? Where have you got that confirmation from? Where did that come from? Fucking Newsmax? Where the hell did you hear that? Let me know in the comments. Has anybody else heard that? Because Trump is not even saying that. Where have you heard that it's been confirmed that the Iranian school was struck by a misfire by Iran? And in your first part of your comment, Planned Parenthood's clinics are mostly in minority areas, then white. I don't know if I agree with that either. You're going to tell me Planned Parenthood? Look, what if you live in a state where, you ever seen after the election, most of America, the voting public outside of the cities, all that shit is red. Most of that stuff is white. You telling me there's no Planned Parenthoods in rural America, none of that? They're only in big cities where a lot of African Americans are. If that's the case, they must have competition. Planned Parenthood ain't the only place you can go to terminate a child, I would assume, because there are plenty of Caucasian women that are doing it as well. I don't buy that they were targeting African Americans. They're giving you a choice. I don't see that as targeting. He can't add his bust to Mount Rushmore because it's structurally on. Yeah, I heard that didn't count, that Trump cannot add his face to Mount Rushmore because there's not enough mountain But that's not to say they can't do something else. Should carve one of the other motherfuckers' face off. I mean, you know, you can take a tattoo and change it into something else. I don't think he's going to mess with Mount Rushmore, though. But that's not to say he won't take a mountain somewhere else and carve his face into it. It just won't be in South Dakota, which nobody hardly goes to anyway. I've been there before years ago. Cody says, if Trump didn't win this yet and ran a fourth, Trump 100%, Kamala is almost as bad as Hillary. Well, in regards to saying Kamala Harris is almost as bad as Hillary Clinton, I got to suggest both of those are speculatory, because neither one of them were president. I mean, Hillary Clinton was what, Secretary of State or whatever, the Secretary of Defense or whatever. I mean, so we don't know what Hillary Clinton would be like as president. And Kamala Harris was VP. We don't know what she would be like as president either. We can assume, if you want to, you know, assume she would be terrible, okay, that's what you would expect the right to do. Just like the left would assume that J.D. Vance or Mike Pence would be terrible. But that's all it is an assumption. You haven't seen enough out of her to actually come to that conclusion based on anything other than she's left, and I don't like left-leaning politics. Cody says, locked up for words. What happened to the First Amendment? I agree. I don't think you should put your hands on somebody based on words, but I do understand the sentiment of it. I mean, shit. I mean, if you're out in a bar and somebody is saying all kinds of shit about your wife, black or white, that can provoke you to be violent. The N-word has been a provocatory word all of our lives. I don't favor taking upon violence based on the word, but I totally understand it. Certainly when it comes to the N-word, you know what the fuck you're doing. Just like if you were in a bar and you were commenting on some man's wife's titties or her ass or something, you see him standing right next to her. He's not supposed to do anything to you based only on words, but you know what the hell you're doing. You're provoking him. You know what you're doing. So, you know, like I said, I'm not going to promote it, but I damn sure understand it. If you're that stupid, just like if you go out and argue with a cop or say something, not even argue with a cop, but if you're incredibly offensive to a police officer, let's say during the traffic stop, you're calling them pigs and all kinds of other names and shit like that. If that cop manhandles you, find some additional reason to give you a ticket or something like that, I want to tell you, a lot of the pro-police right side of the aisle are going to be the first to say, you know, you kind of had it coming. You kind of had it coming. So I don't promote violence in exchange for words, but I totally understand it when you're just deliberately provoking somebody. NATO, America, and UN all said it. Now, Cody in the comments is saying that both NATO and the United Nations, which are not involved in this conflict, how would they know the Iranians destroyed their own schoolgirls or blew up a school full of their own kids? NATO and the UN is not even in the war. How would they know that? I'd be curious to know that. Better yet, I would be curious to see a link. I would be curious to see some kind of link or some kind of video of them saying it. I haven't heard that. I have not heard that. In fact, you are indeed the first I've heard say that. I have not heard anybody else say that. So show me some evidence of that. Tap the screen, get us up to 40,000. We'll take the next caller. Team Kamala is not racist because Kamala is black. Okay. In either case, violations of the law must be punished. I don't like how she said what does that say there in the comments? I don't like how she said when Gaddafi died, she laughed about killing Gaddafi. You're saying Kamala Harris laughed about that? Or probably Hillary Clinton. I don't favor any of our politicians laughing about killing other people. Certainly in the Trump administration, it's really gotten off the hook with them posting rap videos, showing stuff blowing up. You know, Trump has really made a mockery of killing people. He really enjoys it. I've never seen it to this level. Like I said, the White House released a video of rap music showing Iranian targets getting blown up. I've never seen nothing like that. So Satellite intelligence, they are monitoring the war, says Cody. Send me a link. Send me evidence that NATO and the United Nations both stated that Iran blew up their own blew up their own elementary school full of schoolgirls. You're the first I have ever heard suggest that people are saying that. I think Trump broke away from Israel recently. Yeah, he went a different direction with them on the attacks of Hezbollah. Let me go back to the box. Real quick, we have a poll on YouTube. 192 respondents so far. Question being, is Benjamin Netanyahu controlling President Trump? Stuff like getting us involved in wars, et cetera, et cetera. Is Benjamin Netanyahu controlling President Trump? 195 respondents so far. 63% say yes. 63% say yes, Benjamin Netanyahu is controlling Trump. 37% say no. Cody Luck says, I'm heading out. You should check out Habitual Line Crosser when it comes to current events. He does a lot of research on the topics and presents it in funny ways. Have a good day. Yeah, but if the UN and NATO were saying that Iran bombed that school, you wouldn't have to go to just some dude on social media. It would be all over CNN, Fox, ABC. Trump would be saying it at every speech. I have not heard Trump suggest that NATO and the UN agreed that America didn't bomb that school, that Iran did it. Trump would be saying that constantly because they're the ones that's taking flack for doing it. Let me go back to the box. That's the first I've heard ever on that one. I have never heard that before. Gangsta Grandma, tap the screen, get the likes up. Arnita says that's bullshit. Yeah, I've not heard it. I haven't heard it. Gangsta, good evening.
I can't stand your bluffing ass again. Look at you. Tim, you can't even, you always got to make up something. You can't, it's like your communication blacks. Oh, it's not that bad. Yes, it was in slavery too, Pookie. It really was, Pookie. I said, you need to go get educated before you come and be a black man. I'm taking your card again. Until you become a black man. I'm being a white man. And then we will talk to you.
How the hell am I being a white man? What the fuck are you talking about?
Blacks. Oh, it's not degrading. Yes, it really was. But I know my history, unlike you little peasant.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy White, for the hugs. Real quick, hang on a second, Gangsta Grandma. Cody Luck says, you think mainstream news who hates Trump would say something positive about Trump? Fox would say it. Trump would say it. If the UN and NATO were accusing Iran of doing that, Fox loves Trump. Newsmax loves Trump. One America News loves Trump. They would say it. They're not saying that.
You have it coming out your mouth every single day. So let's not go there with your uncooked protein-looking ass. I mean, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, the maggots don't like women. For God's sake, we have an AG to save a life. They don't like us. They don't like black and brown folks. They want us out of the country, but they don't even, they forgot that the white tea people came over this way, and it was all brown people.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that MAGA wants all black and brown people out of the country? Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah, that's what they voted for. They obsessed with us. They are obsessed. They want to take everything out of history about black and brown folks. They really think that this country was white tea. But this country was never white tea. It was cocoa. It was brown. It was chocolate. It was light chocolate. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm feeling. Well, speaking of black women, how do you feel about this?
Alex Pereira, I want a shama on your mama. And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Is he right, America?
In the same sentence, they put Jesus Christ, right? That right there is a Christian nationalist. That right there is hate. That right there, that's what they voted for. That is what they voted for, Christian white nationalists, because they swear up and down, black and brown folks is doing something so bad to their asses. But it's the white tea women that love our chocolate dick, though.
Yeah.
Having these mixed babies, though.
In the comments, Cody, I didn't see Fox.
Talk to the joker, though.
I didn't see that on Fox. He said, well, I don't even watch Fox. I haven't seen Fox claim that Iran did that. So send me the clip. But you're saying that. Now, listen, the guy says Michelle Obama is a man. Why do you think they're all doing that? Because he's not the only one.
You know why? Because Michelle Obama was more educated than a white trash they be fucking. Let's keep it a buck. They can't never get a true black woman. They are the trash of the trash of the trash. They can't even talk to us. Oh God, the peasants. They're beneath us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but they're not beneath all of us. I was called a peasant today too by someone.
I bet you like that white uncooked trash. But hey, I'll give you props. Go keep them. Go have their asses. Have the little German roaches. They just multiply. Unlike me, I would never have nothing uncooked in my body.
How do you respond to someone who might suggest you're pointing out hate while being very hateful yourself?
I'm not hateful. I'm telling the damn truth. See, being hateful is lying on their asses. I'm not hateful.
Uncooked protein? What the hell is that?
I can't say what I really want to say, because I'll get bananas. So I said uncooked protein. You know, you have it down your throat, gargling like a little toy.
What in the actual fuck? There's nothing going down my throat. I'm not gargling on shit.
Tim, you have the most racist people in your comments. I seen one guy today saying white tea power. Like, oh, that's gonna scare me. Ooh, I'm so scared.
Well, you do understand why you're pointing out all these claims that white people are in my comments being racist. A lot of them think you're racist, gangster grandma. A lot of white people think you're racist.
Let me tell you something. You know how stupid these people are, though? You know how stupid they are? You know that the white tea people have more crimes against white tea people than we do on black? 84% of what crime is white tea against their own damn people. 80% is against us. They have more, statistically more. But you know what, though? They can't stand us, so they come at us all the time. And they say, it's black on black. Oh, my God. I'm so scared of black on black. But yeah, it's your white tea people that are doing the most. Your white tea people, we will pick a bear over a white tea man any damn day. Hallelujah.
What is the common comment? 50% of the population, or what is it? 13%, 1350 or something like that. They say you're 13% of the population, 50% of the crime.
We have more people getting out of the penitentiary. What is it called when you're found when you're not found guilty because they put you in prison because you thought they was guilty? Yes, we get found that. Yes, we do.
Exonerated. That does happen. But how do you respond to folks who do suggest that we're only 13% of the population, and in the major cities we're committing all the crime? 13%
of the population is the white tea women love our asses. They want our men all the damn time. They don't like the uncooked protein wikis. They don't though. And they stuff it down, they black though.
Well, all white women don't want black men.
Well, hallelujah, because I love my black men. I like them to keep in our community.
You know, I had a brother, I was watching a brother on social media, this was about a year ago, and he had a Caucasian partner. And, you know, a bunch of sisters was attacking him for going outside of his race. And he made a statement that I've never forgotten. He said, maybe if you guys treated us better, we wouldn't go out here because they treat us a lot better. How do you respond to something like that?
You know what they don't like though? They like the white tea women to be up their asses. They don't want to be responsible. You know what I mean? They want their weed and they want everything else. See, the white tea women, they say, yes, master, let me have this, baby. Give me. Yeah. See, my black man, he better go get him a job. And he better provide. And he's going to be a provider in my house. And he gave me a baby. He's going to provide.
So what you're saying is that, so you're saying, well, what man doesn't like a little bowing down? Shout out to Ice Cube. I mean,
no, they want to live rent free in their house, and their women go and give them anything they want. See, with me, my black man ain't gonna be rent free in my house. My black man's gonna be coming in with my money and paying something. And if he had me a baby with me, he's gonna be paying. He ain't gonna be living in my house rent free.
Sound like you're kind of making his point. I mean, you're basically saying that a black woman is going to make a black man work harder for it than a white woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? But why to a standard and make them have their kids and make them be a father. You know what I mean? Why?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I'm just simply saying that, look.
I want my black man to have a job. I want my black man to be the leader. I want my black man to do the damn thing. I don't want him up underneath me and saying, "No, I want to play a game all damn day."
It's interesting, but think about what you said. You said, I want my black man to have a job. I want my black man to be a leader. But when you really look at the black community, where most of the black men with really good jobs and in really good positions of leadership, they're not dating black women. A lot of them guys have white women.
That's not true, though. See, I can't stand the white man.
What did I do now?
No.
I'm having a conversation.
No. That's not true, though. That's not true. Because my black man that I was married over 18 damn years to, he had a job. He provided for his fucking family. There's a lot of black men that provide for their fucking family. What are you talking about?
But there's also a lot of prominent.
No, it really isn't. The statistics are not there. There's a lot of black families out there. I'm just so sick of you thinking the white women are doing the most.
I didn't say nothing. I did not say they were doing the most. What I'm simply saying is a lot of African Americans, when they reach the pinnacle of success, whether it's in academics or athletics, for instance, they usually date outside of their race. It's usually a white woman.
Not really, not all the time.
But a good chunk of them, it's a decent percentage.
There really isn't though. Like damn, dog. Like you always want to put down.
Maybe this ain't got nothing. No, wait a minute. Hold on. This ain't got nothing to do with putting down. This is not putting down black people. This is pointing something out.
As nice as I can be with your uncooked protein looking fat fucking ass. I am so sick of you trying to degrade black men.
This ain't degrading.
Black men are in the families with their kids. What are you talking about? And I don't give a fuck if they go outside the race and get them some fucking coochie. I don't give a damn. As long as they do not put a black woman fucking down. You fucking Bisco Tina looking head.
Where is it?
I don't give a fuck.
How are black women being put down by any of this? What is the guy's name?
Are you serious? Have you been on TikTok? There's a lot of black men that go up to Becky and they be talking that shit about black women, saying how ghetto they are and how this and that, how uneducated they are. But yet, black women are the most educated in the United States, and they override black men any damn day. Black men are stupid. Let's go there. And I say it.
You're saying all this horrible stuff about black men, and you cannot question, and you question why they may go somewhere else.
I don't care. I'm being honest. Black men go hold degrees like a black woman do. And they always want. I'm talking about the black men that put black women down.
Black men are stupid.
I'm not talking about the good black men. I wish I would come. I swear to God, my black man comes home and put. I'm going to jail.
I'm watching the final game of the New York Knicks. They won the championship. Congratulations to them. The MVP, first thing he does is go and hugs his wife. She's Caucasian. She's Caucasian.
I don't give a damn about that. I'm talking about the black men that stay in our black community. They are the riders.
He can still be in the community.
The ones that go outside that talk mad shit. They're the ones that I'm talking shit to. They're the ones, my Becky does better than black women. Oh, my black women got nappy hair. But yeah, you guys got fucking lice up in your shit.
I think you just have an issue with white women. White people.
No, I do not have an issue with white women. I'm telling them damn truth. I got white teen friends that will tell you. I am telling the damn truth, and they'll tell you. And they're the ones that with the money, so they buy anything. You think that white woman will love his ass? No, they love the money, bitch. They don't even like the BBC. They like the money. And then when they get divorced, she takes it all. And then guess what? The black man's crying like a little bitch.
And I see in the comments, Chuck Todd, not the real one from Meet the Press, but he says black men are 70% of the sex offender registry. I'm sure that. Hold on, hang on. Let me tackle this one. First of all, I'm certain that's not true. And even if it ever was remotely true, when you look at the Epstein list, it's because you're not being held accountable for it. So, I mean, because there are plenty of sex offenders on the Epstein list, and ain't none of them being held accountable.
That's not even true.
No, it's not.
The
No,
white
it's not.
teen men are the most that are raping us, raping their own kids, raping their own daughters, having incest with their asses. Let's not go there, okay? Let's not go there, because I would drag the white teen man to the pits of hell, and I got statistics to back my shit up. Don't ever bring my black men saying they're the greatest and shit. Hell to the fucking no. You wish, but no, our black men are not touching our damn daughters. Our black men aren't doing that, unlike the white teen people are. You guys love to have sex with your mamas and your poppies, and you don't even know who your mama is.
I think it happens in all races, but I definitely don't think 70%.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
no black men are perfect,
Yeah.
because we got one up in here that's up in your show all the damn time. Darth Vader. I'm not saying that but it's not as much as it is. Not as is as white teen man. They're the most pedophiles. They are the most dangerous. Like even white women don't even like their asses.
Sam in the comments says this lady is very racist. See, I'm telling you, there's a lot of Caucasians that think you're racist.
You know what? For one, I can't be racist, but for two,
What? What?
shut the fuck up.
What?
I know I got your little britches in the panties, huh? Get your little balls out your little hands.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
I'm telling the truth though. How is being racist telling the truth about the white T-man? How is it being racist that they are the most dangerous of them all?
That ain't what I.
That the crime is 84% of them, and they'll keep you and unalive us at schools and shit. I'm telling the truth. That's not being racist. That's telling the truth.
Your statement was, I can't be racist. That's insane.
I'm not racist. What are you talking about? And if I was so racist, why do I have a white man working for me?
What the fuck does that mean?
I would have all black rap if I could.
What the hell does that mean?
Because I'm not. Because you know what he was? He was a triple K. But you know what he did though? He saved my brother's life and one of my brother's friends' life in the penitentiary to let them know that they was coming after their asses because of their skin color. And he did not want that shit to happen. So my brother called me from the Pinta and asked because they was all gonna get out if I could get him a job. To this day, he works for me.
Martin on YouTube.
And you know what? He grew up being racist. He said he never know why he was being racist in the beginning.
Martin on YouTube says to ask if you hate men. Are you a man hater?
Do I hate men?
Yeah.
I love dick. What the fuck you mean?
That don't mean nothing.
White gay man, I'll never have a white tea, uncooked protein semen in me. I will not breed with them. But I love me some BBC though. I love sucking and fucking and riding it. Yes, I do. And would.
I would not breed with them comment. That's racism.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's just because.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
how is that? How is that? When I don't, that's my preference. I preference love me some BBC. I would never breed or have sex with uncooked meat.
That's the. What you're doing is you're quoting a very common slogan from the white. Hold on, let me finish saying what I'm saying. Though you're interrupting the statement. You're quoting a very common statement from the Klan. No race mixing. You're basically saying the same shit.
Well, to comprehend this, we're all mixed. If you're from the United States, we're all mixed. I don't give a damn if people mix. I really don't. It's me. I would never be with a white man. Never. That's my preference. I don't have to F a white man. I would never suck a white man because that's my preference. Have you seen a pink dick? I just like a pink dick.
What the fuck?
It looks gross to me. I like black dick. And that's my preference. If that makes me racist, so fucking be it, bitch. Because I would never do that.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
How is being having a preference? How is that being racist? When you have white people saying I would never be with a black person. I guess they're racist too, right, bitch? See how stupid you sound like? Do you see how stupid you sound like though?
No, because when they say that, that's exactly what we say about them is that they're being racist. That's
because they like their own people. Okay.
Okay.
Well, God to you, mofo. You like it. I don't.
All right.
I don't like pink.
Okay, fair enough.
What am I going to say about that, Tim? Like, golly. Like, I don't like old men like you because your balls go to the floor. How about that?
Did you say golly? Shout out to Gomer Powell. I got to move it on, gangster. Thank you for coming through. Tap the screen, by the way. Get us up to 60,000 if you wish. She said my balls are on the floor. Jesus Christ. Really? They ain't stretched that far, are they? Oh, my goodness. I got to make sure I tie them motherfuckers up. Obama did nothing for the black community. Nothing, says, what does that say? Smile for the foul. I don't agree with that. I mean, there's things Obama did for the black community. You just would not attribute them to him. Just like if the black community says Trump did a bunch of racist shit, you wouldn't agree with that either. I don't see where Trump's been in office now, what, 2 years almost now? What has Trump did this term for the black community? In fact, he's rolled back a lot of things that would indicate he's anti-black. What has Trump done in his second term right now for the black community? I don't think there's anything there. Somebody let me know, clear it up, make me understand. Fired a bunch of people. I mean, he's cutting social programs that they may use. I mean, what has he done for the black community for you to bring up Obama? Miles says Obama created Trump. Yeah, there's probably some validity to that, but I don't know what Trump has done in his second term. Nothing. So, and I see Sammy says, why second term only? Because that's the one that's going on now. What has he done in his second term for African Americans? Give me something. Nothing. Come baby girl, try some vanilla, baby. Come on, let me take you out. Kitty, are you trying to holler at my last guest? Real quick, in regards to our poll, 275 respondents. That question remains: is Netanyahu controlling President Trump? 65% of you still say yes, Netanyahu is controlling Trump. Google's free. If you look up what Trump's done, you get a huge list of his achievements. Chances are, Brendan, if you look up what Trump has done for the black community, you're going to get a huge list of Trump's achievements that were written by Trump. Go ask the black community, take that list of achievements and ask the black community themselves, has Trump done all this for you? I guarantee they would have a difference of opinion. The black community, keep in mind, all of the stuff that Trump allegedly did for the black community, 100% of it is in his first term. 100% of it is. And yet the black community did not vote for Trump to get reelected. So obviously there's a discrepancy in between what Trump says he done and what the black community actually perceives that he actually has done. Because they were willing to vote for me or you ain't black. I don't want my kid growing up in a racial jungle. The guy who was part sponsor of the crime bill. Trump didn't run against Kamala or Biden. He originally ran, he didn't run against Kamala or Obama. He ran against Biden. And the black community still picked Biden. So all of this claim that Trump did all this stuff for the black community obviously disagrees. They didn't look at the end of his first term, they did not look at Trump and go, Yahoo, this guy's done a bunch of shit for us. Let's reelect him for a second term. No, they went and overwhelmingly elected Biden. So you probably are giving Trump credit for stuff that he said, but the black community would disagree with. Trump has done everything he spoke of doing and still is doing it, says Daisy in the comments. You really believe that? You really believe that Trump is promises made, promises kept? You really believe you're getting the swamp drain, you're getting the Epstein files, you got the war ended in 24 hours, the grocery prices down on day one, cutting your energy prices in half in the first 12 months? You really believe he's doing all that, huh? And she says absolutely 100%. Look, if you believe that he's done all of that, you believe I'm Asian. You believe I am an Asian man standing before you. If you can look at all of the stuff that's going on right now and walk away thinking Trump is meeting all his campaign promises, to me, my opinion, my personal analysis, sound like you would believe anything. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 60,000. Help your boy with the hat and mustache TikTok cap goals. Haven't solicited that in a while. Help your boy out. Mike the boss says you look Korean. Right? That sounds a lot better than what Gangsta Grandma often says. Let me go back to the box. Help your boy out the hat and mustache TikTok cap goals. Obamacare, maybe they just prefer their piece to your piece. Could be. Blue One Banks, thanks for some of that love. Appreciate it. In the comments, he's only done shit for Israel. Yeah, I don't look. You're not gonna get many people from the black community to go around bragging about all the stuff that Trump has done for the black community. I haven't seen it. Fat Look says, ask Alexa. Like I said, I didn't see the source. That's what I would see as the source of it. If he was doing stuff that he should be praised for, he would have never done the big, beautiful bill the way he's done it. Fair enough. Real quick in the comments, and thank you, Kat, for the hat and mustache. And Cedric Haney, appreciate the love and support. Going back to the box, we'll make it happen with Creek. Good evening, Creek. Welcome to the program. He's hurt the black community this term, says Facts Only. Yeah, to me, his second term has been anti-blacks, which is why when you ask Trump supporters, what has Trump done for the black community, 100% of it is going to be things they think he done during his first term. If you ask him what has he done during the second term, they're going to go, why can't I say stuff from the first term? Because it's kind of an admission. I don't even have nothing to spin in the second term. It's really bad. So, no, I haven't seen anything that he's done for the black communities in the second term. It's been really bad. What did it say? Iran-Contra debacle under Reagan and Bush led to USS Stark being hit by something missiles. 1987, America forgave Saddam because he was fighting a proxy war against Iran for America. Well, didn't we shoot down when did we shoot down that airliner full of Iranians? We've done that. I mean, we've made some mistakes too. Why do we keep using color silos? It's bad for all because the powers that be are doing it, Irish. I mean, isn't that what Trump said? You know, I love the African American community, and you know, what have you got to lose? I mean, Trump was doing it. So yeah, it's going to happen. And then of course Biden said, vote for me and you ain't black. So both sides are doing it. And then of course Kamala Harris runs and they say she ain't black at all. Same thing they said about Obama. So you can't complain why the citizens are constantly going into color and race when the people that are running the country are doing it all the time. Trump pardoned black gang leaders. That ain't doing shit for the black community. Chances are the black gang leaders were victimizing the black community before they went into prison. That's what you're coming up with? Is him pardoning black gang leaders? There is no deal. He manipulated the market, says SGB. Well, Trump is saying that if we've come close to a deal with Iran. Don't know what happened with my last guest, so we will move on. And we'll go straight to Mike the Boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Tap the screen, folks. Get us up to 60,000 if you will. You guys are all hung up on this dumb, small stuff in race crap when you need to be ready to have the economy. I gotta put my glasses on. Some of this sounds legit though. Shenanigans, something Dante says, you guys are all hung up on this dumb, small stuff and race crap when you need to be ready to have the economy fold or go in our favor to keep the dollar stable. Some of the race stuff, I do agree that we probably should focus on other bigger and bolder issues, but not all of it. Some of the stuff that Trump is doing, where he's literally taking books out of school and erasing actual prominent parts of Black history, I don't think you ignore that. That I don't think you ignore. When he's doing that, you know, there's a saying, those who fail to learn history are doomed to repeat it, and those who attempt to erase history intend to repeat it. So yeah, when you see when they're literally trying to say stuff like slaves learned trades and shit like that during slavery, trying to make it, yeah, you can't ignore that. When people are deliberately trying to rewrite history in your face, that you gotta stop. So I agree there's some racial overtones sometimes you don't need to focus on, but that's pretty fucking bad when they start, like, he took down a Jackie Robinson monument and Harriet Tubman. Remember, Harriet Tubman was going to be on the $20 bill. Trump removed that from happening in his first term. He stopped that in his first term. Stuff like that, you don't ignore that. Talking about getting rid of Juneteenth, all of this stuff like that. When you're doing stuff like that, it's a little bit bolder to me. Looking in the box, we'll go to try to bring up mine. Trump's going to be on the $250 bill. Yeah, but that ain't going. I don't think that bill's going to last very long. Once Trump is out of office, that $250 bill is going to be discontinued right after he leaves office. Mike, good evening.
What's up, man? What's up, Goldie?
Goldie?
You got your chain hanging out and everything. What's up, player? What's up, man?
Stick yourself. Now, look.
Hey, me and you don't watch too many damn movies. That's all I do.
We Gen Xers, we don't see our share of shit. We Gen Xers. But what do you think? The Iran deal 2.0, will it be better than the JCPOA?
Hell no. Have you heard the preliminary? I told you last week that what they initially put out there, listen, Tim, this is going to be far worse than what was initially out there. Because simply put, he wanted to destroy anything and everything that was a Barack Obama legacy. Yeah. He went into the White House his first term just dismantling anything that he had his name. It didn't matter if it was good or bad. Get rid of that shit. Yeah. And that's what he did. And so now we're sitting here looking at a deal based on what I've heard, $324 billion total.
How much did it? Now that's releasing their money that's been held up. That's not our money, is it?
No, $24 billion is their money. $24 billion is their money.
$300 million of American money is going to the Iranians. Where you heard that?
Billion with a B.
Billion. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I don't know what the source is for that, but I don't believe that. Trump is not going to, considering how bad they rammed Obama giving the Iranians their own money back up Obama's ass. There is no way in hell that Trump is going to orchestrate a deal where he's giving the Iranians $300 billion with a B American dollars. He just can't do that.
Sure he can, because everything he's done, listen, his followers are going to make excuses for it, Tim. Every last one of them are going to make excuses for it.
I don't think so. Listen,
okay, Tim. So I understand. First of all, before the deal, him taking us out of the deal in his first term, he didn't replace it with anything.
Right.
It was bad then.
Right.
How you get out of a deal, replace it with nothing, and expect it to be better?
That was the same thing with repeal and replace Obamacare. He started tearing it apart and had nothing to. He was going to do that if John McCain didn't prevent him from doing that to Obamacare. He was going to get rid of it, and he had nothing to replace that with either.
He hasn't done anything on the border. He hasn't put a bill forward to replace the current immigration policies or bills. Tim, but what makes you think he's not going to do this? What makes you think this is not going to happen?
That he's going to give the Iranians $300 billion of U.S. tax money? Man, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, and again, I'm looking at Alter Ego. Why would it come from the world, Alter Ego? The world didn't get involved in this shit. This is the U.S. and Israel. Why would a NATO country, why would any other country give Iran money towards that $300 billion and they had nothing to do with it? Why would they do that?
I'm hyperventilating. I don't believe Trump is going to do that. And I know I'm going to get accused of fluffing and defending Trump. The way MAGA and the right hammered Obama for giving them piles of cash, and now how much did Obama give them? It was way less than that. How much?
It was $1.7 billion, and it was their money. It was their money, and they reamed his ass behind that. They called him. They said he gave them money, and they used that money for the Houthis and all of the proxies. You remember all that shit they said?
I gotta ask Alexa. Alexa, how much is it? 300 billion. Alexa,
what exactly are you asking about?
I'm
at more details to help you figure out the cost.
Okay, Alexa, is Trump planning to give the Iranians $300 billion?
The U.S. and Iran have signed a memorandum outlining a deal that includes a proposed $300 billion investment fund for Iran's reconstruction, though it's framed as an investment rather than reparations. The agreement is pending final approval and requires Iran to demonstrate compliance with the deal's terms.
Alexa, are you lying to me?
I'm not lying to you at all. I'm just sharing what I know about the current situation.
Alexa, stop. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I hear you're frustrated.
Alexa,
I'm just
they're
sharing
trying to
what I
call
know
it
about the current
investment,
situation.
right? They're trying to frame it so it's not as ugly as it is. What they're doing is giving them $300 billion to replace the infrastructure that they destroyed during this operation. That's what I read. Again, Tim, 300 billion with the B. That's not even including the 24 that we've frozen in their assets. Wow. Again, Tim, how can it be a better deal?
That is not better at all. But see, the thing is, two issues. First of all, we did destroy a lot of their country, but the other issue is, I think Trump just wants out. Trump knows, I think he's been advised by so many members of top brass that there is no victory to this, and you need to just cut and run. And I think that he's going to try to do probably what you're saying, because you're starting to come with receipts on this one. Probably going to do what you're saying is that he's going to reframe what giving them money is. I'm hoping MAGA don't really disappoint me and try to defend giving them all this money when they tore Obama a new one for giving significantly less. I'm really hoping I don't get MAGA on here trying to defend that shit.
How much would you like to bet? Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you exactly what they're going to say, Tim. I'm going to tell you what they're going to say. They're going to say it's a $300 billion in reinvesting into the people of Iran after the regime. You want to bet some money?
No, I don't. I wouldn't even bet $1 on this because MAGA has defended some of it. MAGA has defended some of the wildest shit from Trump, but this one is crazy. I mean, like I said, I've had MAGA reacts defending Trump falling asleep after years of sleepy Joe Biden. So I guess after years of talking about Obama giving them money, there probably will be some MAGA that defend it. But there's got to be some MAGA, Mike, that are going to say this is wrong. I think he's going to lose some MAGA, just like with the Epstein files. He lost some MAGA behind Epstein. This is going to cause him to lose some MAGA, not all, but this is absolutely going to cause him to lose some MAGA.
I will concede that. I don't disagree with that because I'm already seeing some MAGA and definitely BLAGA because of the Carmelo Anthony case. I'm seeing, because see what's been happening.
What is Black MAGA's opinion on the Carmelo Anthony case?
That he got railroaded.
Really?
That he got railroaded. Yeah. I mean, there's still a few stragglers, but I told you they're gonna be the last ones on the boat like the Titanic anyway. But there's still a few stragglers that are going, he got what he deserves. You know what really is pissing people off? That they put that one video under court seal. It's been sealed and they will not allow it to be shown anymore.
He has some terrible counsel though. I think Carmelo Anthony. I mean, there's rumors. I don't know if there's any validity to it at all. My audience has went both ways on this, but there are rumors that he raised his family raised $600K or something like that in GoFundMe money, and they didn't use it to go to his counsel. It sounds like he didn't have good lawyers.
Well, they did use them to his counseling. Either his lawyers are extremely stupid or extremely brilliant.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I told you that before, and I'm going to say it again. Because at the end of the day, why would a video be sealed? Why would a video be sealed?
I don't know, but his lawyer should have made that's you should be on TV. Everybody should be on TV talking about that. Because you're right. If you're trying to suggest this guy committed an act of murder and he's worthy of all this time. Why would you seal the video of him losing his life? They showed the autopsy, so you're showing this dude being cut all open and showing how the weapon entered his heart and shit like that. Why would you not show the video of the actual act?
Because the autopsy goes to the prosecution.
He had bad lawyering to me. To me, he had bad lawyering.
Tim, I don't disagree, but I'm also sitting in a position, I'm looking at it like this. If I'm the defense attorney, because we don't know.
How about this though? Hold up. Arnita in the comments says they sealed the video after people started viewing it. Is it out there?
No, it was at first. There was 34. Here's how I understand it. There was over 35, 37 people that actually saw it. They actually filled out the FOIA request. And there's people on this app. There's at least 3 people on this app that I know Tiffany,
Nina, and I forgot the other one that said that they went and watched it. You have options to watch it, the 2-minute clip, 5-minute, or 11 minutes, something like that. And they watched the whole 11 minutes, and they said the 11-minute video, the video that they were shown to the video that the jury was shown. This is what they're reporting. All three of them consistently, I don't even know these people. All three of them said that the video that was presented to the jury had been edited because the entire 11 minutes show Hunter going up to the tent, leaving, and coming back with his brother and some other kids.
Why didn't and nobody got a copy of this shit?
Hey, Tim, I'm just telling you what they said.
I mean, I still got a copy of Charlie Kirk losing his life. Like, you ain't got a copy of this?
And again, that just happened to be streamed, right? I don't think they could not go in the room with their phones or anything. They could just go view it, just like the e-file stuff. But anybody can look on this app. There's about 5 clips of people going to watch that video. Their stories are similar, and they fill a lot of gaps.
So the jury didn't see the video either.
Not this entire video. They saw a clip video, and it was blurry. They said this one was crystal clear. You can see the raindrops falling in front of the camera and everything. But you know what's so funny though, Tim? What they described aligns with what Austin said on those Hunter said on those first 2 videos when he was interviewed. When he said we had an altercation, and when he said when he looked back and saw his brother that had fallen, he looked back. Based on the stories they told, the only reason he was looking back because he was about to go chase after Carmelo, and he turned around and saw his brother fall. That's what these people said. That's what these people said.
I'm just curious, what excuse would the judge give for not letting that video be seen?
Tim, I said from the very beginning this was going to be a corrupt. I think it's all corrupt. 100%. I said it from the very beginning because if that video showed his innocence, because guess what, Tim? Based on the video, Hunter should be arrested right now. You do understand that, right?
Who took the video?
It was on the cameras. And I'm going to assume because you also remember they said that they confiscated some of the kids' phones there as well.
Wow.
They didn't release any of that video, Tim. They didn't release any of that during the trial. And if they were, listen, Tim, if you had one video that would show innocence or guilt, and after the gag order's removed, wouldn't you just release it?
Yeah, if you wanted to err on the side of justice, but if you were literally trying to convict somebody, you wouldn't. Just like with Kyle Rittenhouse's case, and I do believe Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. He was stupid to be out there, but he did need to defend himself. The prosecutor tried to railroad Kyle Rittenhouse like that by not showing everything they had. So it does happen.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, Kyle Rittenhouse and his mama should definitely be in prison. His mama should absolutely be in prison. She took him there.
Yeah.
She understood how does a parent take a juvenile, cross state lines, get into the state, get a weapon, and let him out the car and drive the fuck off.
The mom, you got an argument on the mom, but what Kyle Rittenhouse did, apparently it was legal to have an AR at 17 in Wisconsin. So Kyle Rittenhouse, he didn't commit any crimes. He just was being stupid.
Okay, so did Carmelo commit any crimes? Or was he just being stupid? I know that deep breath was a moment.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I would need to see the video to give me some kind of suggestion that Carmelo Anthony's life was really in danger. To me, it sounds like
didn't have to be.
Well, then that's a different argument.
Great bodily injury, Tim. Didn't have to be.
What do you mean by bodily injury?
He had to fear that he was in harm's way. He had to fear he was in harm's way.
But the jury has also got to agree with you that I can't just walk out in the street and shank somebody and say, well, I fear for my life. You got to present a decent case to the jury to get them to believe your life really was in danger. You can't just go around saying you fear for your life and taking other people's lives. That's what I'm saying. I would need to see him present, based on what I've seen so far, I don't believe his life was in danger.
Again, And guess what, Tim? They didn't present enough during trial to prove that either. But I also don't believe that jury was not letting his ass out of that courtroom no matter what. The only way they was letting him out is if they played the entire video. Other than that, his ass was not walking out of that courtroom.
No, the minute he had an all look, Mark Geragos, I played a clip of it on here. The minute the jury was all white, just like George Zimmerman's jury was all white. People want to say, we're post-racial. No, look, if you got a white dude that go in the hood and get into an altercation with a black man, and he's being charged, and the prosecutor's black, the judge is black, all the jury is black, and the white community would say the same shit. It just doesn't normally happen like that. But yeah, when you got an all-white jury in a red area of the country, just like Trump is always talking about liberal judges. So if a white guy's in a liberal area and it's all liberalism all over, they would say the same thing. They just aren't. They're trying to play innocent because they're never in that situation, but they would say the same thing.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you the sad part about this case. Did you look at the Joe Horn case like I told you?
No, I haven't looked it up yet.
Okay. All I'm telling you is this.
Thank you, Rob.
The bottom line is I'm only going on what people are reporting. People can look on this app right now.
Did I lose you?
Unreleased video. And you're going to see these people that said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me, Tim?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for the flow state.
Yeah. There's going to be people on this app that say, I went and watched the video. And they're all coming back with the same story. They're all coming back with the same story. Now, all I'm telling you is this. The justice system works the way it works. Racism works the way it works, and it is what it is. And it's sad. People are asking, because let me ask you this, Tim. If the video came back that there were multiple guys, including Hunter, that went up to and they were jumping Carmelo, would you have a different?
Yeah, if they were physically pummeling him, like George Zimmerman, even though George Zimmerman was stupid to do what he did and all that, he had marks on him. So when he said he had to take Trayvon Martin's life, I don't know that he could have put the marks on himself, but he did have. I mean, Carmelo Anthony has no marks on him at all.
That's not true, Tim. The video that they put out, that picture of his mugshot is not the same picture, Tim. His left eye, he got a mouse under his left eye. If you look at another one, it ain't there.
He got bad lawyers, man. There's no way he could be. You said he's either stupid or he's a genius. There's no way you could be a good lawyer if that's the case. If they edited mugshots and shit like that, the lawyers should have absolutely pointed that out. This is not the original mugshot. To me, the lawyers sound terrible.
Well, gag order, they can't speak publicly about it. Gag order, they can't say shit to us. That's number one. And number two, if the judge starts saying that's not admissible and that's not admissible, what do you do?
I mean, but did it even? I get if it's not admissible, but you can tell the public. I mean, I don't know. Did he ever bring it up in it? Did he ever bring? You read the transcripts. Did Carmelo's lawyer ever bring that up in court?
If the judge doesn't allow it, they can't bring it up. This is what's so fucked up about this trial, Tim. I truly believe that they went in there to be like, I'm just saying how I say this nigga is not going home. Seal that video because that video is going to show that Hunter was involved and they lied. And Hunter's ass, he precipitated this whole thing. But you remember, Tim, he said we had an altercation in his video. Just look this shit up. Listen, was that video admitted in court? The defense rested. I wonder why they rested. Again, whether it was terrible.
I'm going to tell you something. Now that it's over with, his lawyer going around saying that there's a ton of stuff we couldn't release and they railroaded us and all of this?
I haven't seen that yet. But I'm going to tell you this, Tim. I haven't seen that yet. And then the flip side of me wonders, was he pressured? So was the defense attorney pressured?
I think Carmelo Anthony had bad lawyers. I just do. It doesn't. I'm not hearing anything to speak otherwise to that. I think, goes back to the argument. People are saying that his family didn't use all the money to get him good counsel. It does not sound like he had a good lawyer.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to. The lawyer did some things that are highly questionable. He put a witness on the stand that he had never interviewed before that day. Where the fuck do they do that shit at? Like, ever? You don't know what he's going to know what they're going to say. I mean, that's so. Listen, I'm not going to push back on that. All I know, Tim, is if you listen to the people tell the story of what they saw in that video, and then listen to the outcome, that makes more sense than the trial itself. That's all I'm telling you. When you listen to them, and you go back and read the transcript from the trial, what they saw on that video makes sense as to what happened. And it proves, let me ask you this, Tim. Let me tell you, there's two things in that trial that stood out to me. Two things. You can say BS all you want, Alter Ego. If you told somebody, Michael doesn't tolerate disrespect, if you were to tell somebody else, Michael does not tolerate disrespect, you would only be able to tell them that if you've seen me, you see me in action. He doesn't tolerate disrespect. One of the high school kids testified that Hunter does not tolerate disrespect. Okay? And then another one said, Austin can be intimidating if you don't know him.
That ain't saying nothing. Well, I could be intimidating if you don't know me.
Right. So if somebody says that and I don't know you, what it says to me is Carmelo didn't know either one of them.
Okay.
They all said but they all said Carmelo was being disrespectful. Right?
Yeah.
So if Hunter doesn't tolerate disrespect, so are we to believe that Hunter just sat there and let his brother fight?
That doesn't automatically mean he jumped up and started taking swings either. Trump doesn't tolerate disrespect. He's not violent to anybody though.
But again, Tim, all I'm telling you is that should give you. This has to be done beyond a reasonable doubt. And then the letter came out. Did you see the letter from the cheerleaders that came out recently?
No.
Where the cheerleaders had written a letter to the coach. I haven't seen it be authenticated. Has anybody in the comments heard about the letter, and has it been authenticated? The cheerleaders wrote a letter to the coaches about Hunter and Austin's behavior towards the cheerleaders.
I guess like I said, the more you talk about it, if what you're saying is valid, it just makes it look worse and worse for the quality of lawyering he had. It just sounds like he had a terrible. And I used to donate to the Innocence Project and buy their books, and that's one of the things they often say when it comes to people getting exonerated. One of the main reasons people get charged for crimes they didn't commit is bad lawyering. That's really common amongst all of the folks they've gotten out of prison for crimes they didn't commit, was having just a shitty lawyer. Bad lawyering will get you locked up. To me, the more you talk about it, it just sounds like he had a really bad counsel.
I think he had bad counsel, and I think the prosecution and the judge were in on this entire thing. This entire thing. And again, Alter Ego, I don't use Facebook for resource for anything, my guy, ever.
Well, there will be an appeal. There will be more to the case. I got to move it on, Mike, but obviously it ain't over with. It's obviously not over with. There's going to be an appeal. Hopefully the lawyer that was involved in his conviction is nowhere to be found in the appeal. Just have him hand over his paperwork and shit like that and move on. But that lawyer needs to be as far away from this case as possible.
Now, that's why I say the brilliance of it would be he got poor. You can get an appeal, especially if you had
bad lawyering. Yeah. Improper counsel. Yeah.
But let me say this real quick. When you're talking, you got Trump and Obama. We already know that the deal we're going to get out, that Iran deal is going to be worse. They're going to make excuses for it. But let me say this: this whole White House thing that happened this weekend. Do you think this country would have been okay if
no?
Obama
No. I don't even know if George W. Bush had motorcycles doing stunts and shit and UFC fights on the White House lawn. Trump is unique that I think even many conservatives of the past, I don't think Romney could have got away or McCain could even got away with doing it. Trump is a unique figure that we have never seen in this country before. So you could ask would Obama or Biden have gotten away with it, but I don't even think most Republicans would have gotten away with it.
I think if Obama would have brought up the idea, they would have tried to impeach him with Article 25.
Well, he did illuminate the White House in rainbow colors on the night that gay marriage became legal, and they didn't like that at all.
They didn't like that shit at all, but they gonna let you got motocross and people. I just Tim, people don't listen. People don't come to your house and disrespect your house unless they either intend to
or never want to leave.
Disrespect people, huh?
Or never want to leave. I gotta go. I get it.
Or you're okay with it.
Or well,
okay with
there is that. Mike, appreciate you coming through. Certainly would look forward to seeing how this Carmelo Anthony 2.0, the appeals process. That's probably gonna be 3 years away or something. But if what he is saying is true, wow. What if Obama had the Soul Circus on the front line? Oh, Soul Circus is a good act. That's a good act, though. They tour the country. That's a good show to see. But no, Harlem Globetrotters either. No, MAGA would not have tolerated Obama doing any of that shit. You know, only thing I could see, refurbishing the reflective pool would have probably been okay, but they would have pointed out that there are other more pressing things like the economy that the money needs to be spent on. MAGA would have said that you should wait before this reflective pool shit and fix the economy first. But all the rest of that shit, MAGA would have been hammering Obama for doing, or Biden. Tribunal Arch and the ballroom, all this stuff that is just unnecessarily lavish. It's not absolutely needed. All it is, well, we need to make Washington look better. You got motherfuckers who are saying they can barely afford to eat. And you're talking about, well, we need to make sure a pool reflects blue. Really? Are you kidding me? So, no, I do think that if it had happened under any lesser president, it would have been criticized horrendously. Tap the screen, get us on up to 85. We'll take the next caller. Ask him why he rolls his R's when he says Iran. I didn't even hear that with the rebel. I do apologize. Iran, is that because that's how, I had 3 years of Spanish and I've learned how to roll R's. So you said he was saying Iran? Well, I don't know. Some people say Iran. So it just depends. I mean, we're in America. I'd have to hear what an Iranian says. But some people say Iran. Some people say Iran. You said he says Iran. Dad, judge, and prosecutors were friends, says SGB. Wow. There could be prosecutorial misconduct. I was watching, there's a guy I watch called Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer. He's in Minnesota, and he didn't have anything to do with the George Floyd case, but he's a defense attorney. And I mean, he's defended folks like, what is the guy? Because I Got High, Afro, whatever they got. I mean, he's affiliated to a light degree with the hip hop community and things like that. He's a white guy. He's a defense attorney in Minneapolis. And he went over the case, and he absolutely did say that there are some things that sound like prosecutorial misconduct, like asking witnesses, does it look like it's self-defense? And like you don't just let a witness or just let a person just say something like that. You should have objected to that. And he was questioning, like, how could the judge even let these statements fly? This stuff should be tossed out. So I don't know, but he did say Afrojack, yeah, because I got high guy. So I did see one lawyer that I follow regularly that is saying a little bit of what Mike said. I haven't heard that this video that shows the killing was sealed and not released. I don't understand. That absolutely sounds bad. You voted for Obama, a gay Muslim with a trans hubby. Don't know what any of that means. I mean, think of it this way. If we're going to go on speculation that Obama is a gay Muslim with a trans hubby, then I'm going to push back and say, well, the other side is a dude that fucks kids. Which one do we go with? The gay husband? With the gay trans hubby? Or do we go with the guy who fucks a bunch of kids? If you really want to go with speculation, right? We're going to go with speculation that Obama's gay and Michelle's a man, then the other dude is banging children. That's how speculation works. Understand that. Trump is the best president the United States has ever had, says Haltery. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand right now in this economy why anybody would rate Trump as the best ever. If you think he's a good president, we can debate that. Best? What has Trump done? I ask this every time that comes up. Tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at 80,000. Help people out with the hat and mustache TikTok cap goes. This is free speech in a MAGA-friendly format. We've always been MAGA-friendly, always will. And thank you for that. Mike the Sailor. Both Trump and Obama loves the caps. I've said this all the time. When you hear the call that Trump is the best president we've ever had, give me something 20, 30, 50 years that Trump has accomplished that we'll still be talking about. Because that's what happens when you're the best. You talk about moon landings, defeating Hitler, breaking apart the Soviet Union with Ronald Reagan, sending men to the moon like I mentioned with Kennedy. That's the kind of stuff you mentioned from a president that's been the best. What has Trump accomplished that even 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about? Best ever? Based on what? Now, I'll tell you this, he will be remembered. Trump will be remembered far more than Biden, probably even more than Obama, even though Obama was the first minority. But other than Obama, take away, let's say Obama was a white guy. Trump will be remembered a million times more than Obama. The biggest thing Obama will be remembered for is him being the first black president. And then, of course, Obamacare, if Trump doesn't completely dismantle that. Other than that, he did orchestrate the killing of bin Laden. But Trump's memories are significantly greater than any other president we've had in our lifetime. But they're all negative, though. They're all negative. It's stuff like being impeached twice, which probably will be a third time if you don't win the midterms. January 6th will go down in infamy. It's all kinds of shit like that. Ash, thank you for the TikTok cap. Appreciate that. It's all negative stuff. The way he uses social media accounts, stuff like that. So obviously he don't started a war just like Bush did. So yeah, it's all negative shit. Best ever? Give me some accomplishments of Trump. Now, I'll put on my MAGA hat and defend Trump where he's worthy of defending. Accomplishments of Trump that will be remembered. Space Force. Probably, maybe, he wrote it out so poorly, but he should get a lot of credit for Operation Warp Speed and the vaccine. Folks say, well, Trump could cure cancer. You wouldn't give him any credit for it. That saved millions of lives. If you ask the United Nations, other world players, the vaccines that Trump is responsible for coming out because he allocated the funding, those vaccines saved millions of lives. But the way he acted in releasing them, he don't even get credit for them. But that is what Trump has done that will be remembered, is the vaccine and him creating the Space Force. Securing the border and all that kind of shit, that's a here and now thing. Nobody's going to be bragging about him securing the border 30, 40, 50 years from now, because there's going to be all kinds of new policies on the border, et cetera, et cetera. That's not going to be a big deal. But the vaccine and Operation Warp Speed, I could see those two. But that's not going to put him anywhere near greatest president ever. There's got to be a dozen dudes that have done more than that. So I don't get the best president ever comment at all. Joe Biden, MAGA, are KKK racist fascists. Okay, Viking. God's wrath and judgment on America is going to overwhelm so many. I hope I ain't around when that happens. If he was following all of the rules and doing good for the United States citizens, like curing cancer, I'll be the first one to give him props. And me too, I would be too. If he wasn't acting like a piece of shit doing it. You're curing cancer. Well, it's good you reelected me because Obama wasn't going to do shit. He would have let everybody die. It's that kind of crazy shit is why he don't get credit. Just do good. You don't need to run your mouth all the time. Going back to the box, one and only MAGA Reacts. UFC better than MSNBC. What are you talking about? Good evening, MAGA.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. Did you see the UFC fight yesterday on the White House lawn or Saturday?
To be honest, no, because I was busy working. But my brother was there.
Wow, how did he get it? How did he get an invite to that?
He works for the UFC. Whenever they do anything in the Northeast, he's always there.
Did you hear what the fighter said at the end about Michelle Obama?
No, like I said, I didn't watch any of it. I just I worked all night.
Okay.
In the backyard and fell asleep.
Well, I'm going to play a quick clip of it since you didn't hear it, because I think you should. This is a fighter who has won the fight, and he's talking to Joe Rogan in the ring.
Jesus Christ. And if I'm going to say anything, there's only one person more incredible than the Incredible Hulk, and that's my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now listen, Alex Pereira, I want a shama on your mama. And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
What the hell is that?
It's funny, but I don't know if that's the character he plays or that's actually him being serious.
I mean, even if it's a
I
character.
know it's not wrestling, but I don't know. I don't watch UFC on the regular.
Now, the Trump administration, considering that they put this event on, and this guy yelled this shit on the White House lawn, the Trump administration has been asked by the media to condemn his statement, and they're refusing to do so. Do you believe they should condemn this?
Yeah. Especially if he's serious. If he's just a character that this guy plays, then no. But if he's serious and he's just being stupid, then yes.
What UFC fighters play characters in regards to talking about politics?
I don't know.
Never heard that.
That's why I use the word if, Tim. That's why I gotta.
Yeah, you're making him sound like a WWE kind of guy. They play characters. I mean, nobody gets up there and talks about the first lady.
All right, what do you want me to say? If that's why I said if. But overall, they should condemn it. It's really, what's the point of not condemning it either way?
Maybe you like it.
I mean, it's funny. Like I said, if he's just being comical, then okay. But if he's being serious and he's being,
You really think insulting the first lady on the White House, a former first lady on the White House lawn, is that something you even joke with? I mean, just the time and place of it. You literally got the White House behind the guy, so he's on the White House property insulting the former first lady, even if it's a joke. I mean, is there no line?
Well, that's what I said. Like, if he's insulting her, then yeah, fucking just own that shit. But if you're just trying to be funny, then.
But that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't go to the Arlington that's underwater in Hawaii and stand on that memorial site and make a joke about getting bombed on, Pearl Harbor getting bombed. I mean, is there not a line? You're on the White House grounds insulting the first lady and talking about what's under her clothes.
Look, I mean, this is the debate for the century. Where's the line when it comes to comedy? It's always fucking debate. I don't know where the line is. I'm not a comedian. I don't know. I don't think that was serious enough for her to be offended, but I also understand that it is offensive. So I really don't know. I'm not the person to ask that question.
Yeah,
go hit up Joe Rogan or one of these comedians and ask them.
Yeah, and I see in the comments people are rightfully pointing out that this dude is not even a comedian; he's a fighter. So he's not a comedian to begin with. So why? I mean, this is like you just want to fight. Why are you up here telling insulting jokes?
That's why I said if. I don't know if he's being a comedian or what. He is an entertainer, but that's as far as it goes. I mean, if he's trying to entertain, then. Who gives a fuck? But if he's serious and he's trying to insult the former first lady, then fuck him. No, you don't insult the former first lady in front of the White House.
Now, keep in mind, it is very common for MAGA to suggest Michelle Obama's gender is incorrect. That's not, he's just one of them. You can go on plenty of MAGA sites and hear the same thing, right?
I've never done it. So.
You've never heard that before, though?
I've never done it. I've heard of it, of course, but I've never done it. I've heard of it with you saying it 100 times. I heard it from you. I didn't hear it from Mac.
You've never heard me say Michelle Obama is not anything but a woman. You ain't never heard no shit like that.
No, but I've heard of you talking about MAGA saying it.
Oh, yeah, because they do say it. I don't. And I see in the comments black.
But I've only heard it from you. I've never really heard it directly from anyone that's MAGA. At least not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And black.
I don't have like a fucking club meeting or something that I go to.
Yeah, and black bowlers in the comments say, "Yeah, you think it's funny." No, that ain't funny at all. I've never. You got the right constantly saying the left don't know what a woman is, but here they are looking right at one and calling her a man. So to me, it sounds like maybe the right don't know what a woman is.
I don't know. I just think this is all comedy. It's all funny, man.
To who? Who's laughing at that? Who is laughing at that though? Who is if you so in other words if you said that Melania Trump is a hoe and she's full of STDs, you said everybody would laugh at that.
Well, that's not that funny.
Neither is calling her a man. That ain't funny either.
Yeah, but the point, I don't know. The way you guys keep repeating, I don't know. Again, who am I to say what's funny and what's not funny?
Well, what's funny is jokes that are being told by your side. If you use that same joke at somebody on the right would suddenly not find it funny. Just say any of Trump's jokes and aim them at somebody. Okay, the picture of the Obamas is monkeys.
Hold on. Both of us, all sides use that as a joke. The problem is the people who say it seriously.
That ain't true. You telling me the left says Michelle Obama?
Say that shit like it's serious, like it's fucking true.
Wait, say that again?
Those are the people where it's like not funny because they actually believe that shit.
You're telling me the left. You said all sides. You're telling me the left says Michelle Obama's a man?
As a joke, yes.
I have never heard anybody on the left say that. I have never heard that.
Well, they use it to make fun of MAGA more than anything, saying that MAGA believes it and all this shit. But in truth, like, we all find it funny. That's why we all keep repeating.
No, that ain't true. I have never heard anybody on the left ever.
They brought it up to like fucking make fun of MAGA.
This ain't making fun of him. It's asking should the Trump administration condemn it. That's not making fun of him. It's pointing out something that's horrible.
And I said if he's doing it in an insulting way, then yes.
Is there any way to do that in a non-insulting way?
If you were just trying to be funny, if he was playing a character. That's the character he plays on the UFC.
No, they don't do. Do you watch the UFC at all?
Yeah, I remember Conor.
Nobody does that. Nobody goes out there and ridicules the first lady as a character. You're talking about like at best, nobody does that.
It's not as bad as wrestling, but they still play characters on the UFC.
They don't go out and trash politicians as a character. No UFC fighter does that.
Okay. I mean, I don't regularly watch the UFC, so maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, you really, for you to say that, you really don't. You really don't.
Let's move on to the last caller.
Okay, hang on a second, because I got a viewer. We the Rebel says he wants me to ask this guy why he is so dumb. I don't know if he might be talking about me. I don't know. He might be talking about me.
You ask me dumb questions. I answer your dumb questions.
With dumb answers. With dumb answers.
I'm so dumb from the start that there's no way to look smart fucking answering your dumb questions. And I'll stop answering.
You could no. If no.
This is also a show.
No, hold on. No, the reason why you come across like that is because you're trying to defend shit. If you just said it's insult, he should condemn it. Let's go to the next topic. That's one thing. You start talking about he's acting like a character and it's a joke. You're answering what you call a dumb question, and you're giving even dumber answers. Just come out and say it's wrong, condemn it, and that's it.
But do you want to hear the same shit over and over?
I want to hear you speak. I don't want to yell at you like fucking Jack Nicholson or what. I want to hear you say the truth. I can handle the truth. I can actually handle the truth.
This is all opinion, Tim.
So
most of what we're talking about is not truth or false. It's just fucking opinion. And I could have opinion both ways. I could have two opinions. I could think it's very insulting, and I could also find it funny.
What about the caller you want?
Questions, I answer them as dumb as I can sometimes.
Yeah, like you saying it's okay for a president to doze off as long as he got a tough schedule. He dozed off at the UFC fight.
It's okay for any human being to doze off if he's got a tough schedule. But if you got an easy schedule and you're dozing off and you're fucking old as fuck and you're barely showing up for any events, Yes. Anyone that's hardworking, it's okay for you to doze
No,
off
it's
anywhere
nowhere.
you want. If you're a hardworking person, I don't care who you are. If you're president, if you're a plumber, if you're a garbage man, if you're
What if you're a brain surgeon? What if you're a brain surgeon?
Whenever you want,
What if
especially during
what if you're a brain surgeon? What if you're a brain surgeon? Is it okay to doze off at work?
Well, if you're doing brain surgery, no. But if you're at a fucking boring ass meeting or at a fucking
You
court,
said some crazy
yeah,
shit.
or at church, I doze off at church all the time. So
I cannot believe I have a caller. I cannot believe I have a full-grown adult, a voter, telling me it's okay for the president to doze off in public. That's why you talking about dumb shit. When you make statements like that,
I didn't say public. I said in long ass meetings. I said in court, and I said in church. Those are the three places it's okay for any human being to doze off because they're boring as fuck. Or like a long, boring play. Or anything that's fucking boring, Tim.
he's
Come
doing.
on.
He's
If
doing.
you didn't doze off in that meeting, you didn't even fucking know there was a meeting to start
He
off.
fell asleep in the middle of the fucking Knicks game in a UFC fight. Some of the loudest events you can have. How does that happen?
I've done that too, so I'm not gonna fucking say anything. I've those off all the time.
In less than those two events, those two events are less than a week apart, MAGA. That's bad. When you don't made a whole history of making fun of the last guy falling asleep, and now you're playing Mitch McConnell everywhere you go. That looks bad.
Look, that joke about Sleepy Joe wouldn't have even been a joke if he was a hardworking president. If he was even like 10 years younger, that wouldn't have worked because back then, at least 10 years before, he was fucking doing a bunch of events and shit. And bro, Joe Biden, when he was awake, it looked like he was sleeping. That's why that joke worked. You know?
SGB wants me to ask you if you live at home with your parents.
No. I got
Okay.
2 houses.
What did you want to talk about? You said you want to talk in regards to the other caller. Mike was the last caller.
Everything Michael has said, that's what we call hearsay. And there's a fucking very strong reason we don't allow hearsay in court. It's not what he heard. It's what the other guy heard, and he's repeating, and he's fucking applying.
What about the video? Is that hearsay that there's an actual video out there that the judge didn't release?
As far as, yeah, unless it's like from an official court document, I'm hearing it third person. It's hearsay. Or second person is hearsay. It's not even third. I have to hear it from the original source for it to be, legit.
Well, apparently there are original.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
This was on the video.
Apparently there are original sources that apparently saw it, and it's been sealed.
Well, I gotta hear from them. Is this unlike? What are the sources? Is the question. What are the sources?
That I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I don't like when he comes up here and he gives no sources or some bullshit sources. Oh, there's some guy on TikTok heard it. You gotta believe it because some guy on TikTok heard it.
I wish he was around because he could. I'm sure he can pretty much explain that.
I mean, I was nice today. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna cut him off. Wait, because every time someone fucking galaxies, it cuts off the other person's time. I don't like that anymore.
Well,
So I let him go.
like I said, I want to hear more because I want to hear more of it because there, in my opinion, based on what I've heard so far, I do believe Carmelo Anthony should have gotten some time. I just think 35 years in an actual murder conviction are pretty fucking heavy. I think he should have got manslaughter in less than 35 years. But I'm not going to pretend like I know everything.
Potentially he'll be out in 17, so 35 years is not really 35 years.
That's-
Let me defend him for one thing. Let me defend him in one way that kept bothering me. Just because his lawyers suck doesn't mean they were cheap or free. I've hired lawyers for $100,000, and I've hired lawyers for $20,000, and I've hired lawyers for $2,000. And my favorite lawyer was a $2,000 lawyer. And the $20,000 one was like the best because he did the most work for me. The $100,000 one was fucking worthless. All he did was make deals, and that's all he was good at, making deals. But actual court work, the $20,000 lawyer was way better.
The first thing I'm gonna do is The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call Ben Crump's office and say, if Ben Crump can't come, who do you recommend? It was a racial case from the start. I'm going to call people who are
Also,
who are used to dealing with racial shit.
Also, no, they just have to be good lawyers. Like I watched that same video you watched with the criminal lawyer. They didn't object to the most basic shit. Like, I don't know to object to shit.
Right.
To this shit, you know.
So you agree? It does sound like he had a bad lawyer.
100%. But the only part I don't agree with is like he's a bad lawyer because he was free or cheap. You can spend a lot of money on a fucking lawyer. They lie for a living. They'll fucking make it sound like they're the best at what they do, and you'll never know until you actually get to court.
Sound like a president, huh? Sounds like a president.
Well, that's different.
No, it ain't different. It's the same shit. You paying him a bunch of money.
But we kind of Trump does what Trump does, and we hired Trump to be Trump.
You didn't hire Trump to do the shit he's doing now. You hired Trump to help us drain the swamp, get to the bottom of the Epstein files, to end these useless wars, to be America first. He actually told you what he was going to do, and you hired him to do that. And just like a lawyer that is not worth his salt, he lied.
But he also was himself. Like he also let's look
So when you say he's himself, what are you suggesting? He's a liar?
No, that he does what Trump does. That you could count on him to fucking if the war isn't working out to get out of it. That's the main thing I like about him. The taco. I actually like the taco part because if something doesn't work out, I don't want you to fucking keep going until
You do realize what taco stands for, right?
Yeah, that he always changes his mind.
No, it doesn't. The C doesn't stand for changes. Taco doesn't changes. Right. The C don't stand for changes. He said, go ahead.
You get the idea, right? Like, I like that he changes his mind that if the people don't like something, that he'll fucking...
Why not?
He'll actually listen to them.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Instead of starting a war and then determining whether the people don't like it or not, why don't you listen to the fucking people to begin with so that 13 people don't die, getting us to the point where we're at now. Those 13 people didn't have to die.
Even without a war, we could have 13 casualties could have happened anywhere. I mean, 5 of those casualties was them just flying an airplane. It wasn't really war related.
What are you talking about?
Casualties was an airplane being flown over like peaceful area and they accidentally hit each other. I mean, they were doing war stuff, but they were just literally just flying. They weren't in combat.
If that war didn't happen, all 13 of those people would still be alive.
I guess, but also 5 of them didn't die in combat. They died in a fucking airplane
They
accident.
died due to operations pertaining to that war. Operations pertaining to that war. If that war did not happen, those 13 servicemen and women would still be alive. That's all I'm saying.
Agree to disagree. But again, it's not going to be an endless war because we should be out of it within a fucking couple of weeks if Israel doesn't fuck it up.
Says who? What makes you believe that? What makes you believe we're going to be out of it in a couple of weeks? He's been saying this since the war began. We're going to be out of it in a couple of weeks.
I said if. That's why you never listen when I say the word if.
No, never listen to him and you won't.
It's not an endless war, and he holds up his fucking promise of no endless wars. And he also holds up his promise
Didn't he say Cuba's next? Didn't he say Cuba is next?
Okay, even if Cuba's next, we'll make it an endless war. It's an endless war if we're in it 10, 20 years.
He campaigned on no new wars was the campaign slogan. Not no endless wars. No new wars is what he campaigned on.
No endless wars. I mean, it's both, but it was also no endless wars. I mean, you could frame it either way, but it really was no endless wars. No endless Middle East fucking wars like Iraq was. That's what we were upset with, the 20-year Iraq war. We didn't want another 20-year Iraq war. So this Iran war being only like 3-4 months, I'm cool with that.
Right, because you're cool with him chickening out. So what he's campaigning on is, I'm not going to have endless wars like the other presidents because if we lose it, I'm just going to chicken out and leave.
That works for me. I don't want to be the 20 years. That's the 20-year Iraq war is what I didn't like.
They're getting people killed doing this shit. People are dying unnecessarily before you chicken out. Why do this?
Look, we get 13 people dying in peacetime. I I really don't think that's really like the 6 that died from missile attacks. Those are death. But come on, Dan. We get people crashing airplanes and dying all the time in the military. It's not safe to be working in the military.
I do not believe the stuff. I gotta move it. I gotta move it on.
Where I'm like, we're complaining about Iraq war because 4,000 people died, and you're telling me, oh, he 13 and 4,000 are two different numbers.
What if you had the president on TV saying exactly what you just said, and one of those 13 was one of your relatives? How would you feel about that?
I would be upset because it's a relative, but I would still understand. Trust me, I would still understand if it wasn't his fault. And that goes for
But it is his fault, MAGA. This is an optional war. We don't look like we're going to. Do you think we're going to even accomplish anything more than what Obama did?
I think so, because they've been bombed to hell and back. So they're going to remember the next time.
Remember, that's it? So we're going to jog their memory. What if we're going to really accomplish more this time than what Obama got? We're going to jog their memory?
No, they're going to be worried.
Worried.
They're going to be worried that next time they're going to get bombed again. They're going to get worried that all their fucking military assets are going to get blown up again.
Have you seen anything from Iran at all over the last 3 to 4 months to suggest they are worried about the actions of the United States? Have you seen anything they're doing to suggest they're worried about us?
Look, first of all, we got nothing out of them until recently. They finally put the internet back on.
Worried. Tell me about the worried part. Tell me about the worried part.
They're playing their cards a lot better than we are. I'll definitely give you that. They're very good at playing their cards, but you're not gonna tell me that getting bombed by like 1,000 bombs is not gonna change your fucking mindset.
Yeah, well, here's what I don't get.
If they're winning so much, why are they even signing this fucking peace deal?
Because we're gonna turn them into a fucking. We're about to get them $300 billion is why. Here's what I don't get though. You're saying that getting bombed. Hold on. You're talking about them getting bombed to death. We started this war by saying that they were killing thousands of their own protesters. By saying that they got a nuclear bomb, they would use it on countries that have hundreds of nuclear bombs. So we started the war by indicating they're suicidal. But now because we've bombed them a few times, they're worried about getting bombed again. You've made it clear they don't mind dying. But now all of a sudden, because you bombed a few places, they're gonna back down now?
Look, no, I know they mind dying. I have friends from Iran. I know they mind dying.
So then Trump is lying then.
I didn't believe that.
So he lied then.
Lied about what?
They would have.
Why would he keep bombing them if they don't mind dying?
They lied about. He said they would have used a nuclear bomb already. You believe that?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so, actually.
All right. So
they're using it. But my problem is, I don't want them to have all the ingredients of a bomb because it's too tempting to use that bomb.
Right.
I don't trust them not to be tempted.
Right. Meanwhile, the world don't trust us because we clearly have been tempted with Greenland, Cuba, Canada, fucking Panama.
We have nuked any of these places.
Does it have to be a nuke? Does it have to be a nuke?
For 100 years. I think it's been 100 years we've had nukes, and
so we can take over countries as long as we don't nuke them.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I gotta go. We'll leave it at that. That's crazy. I think that's crazy, but he's not the only one that believes that we don't trust Iran and there's nothing we're doing that should indicate we can't be trusted. My opinion is America comes across as far less trustworthy than Iran. We've been in far more people's business, oppressing far more countries than Iran could dream of. Iran is only in their region. We're worldwide. So I think a lot of Americans don't realize that. To me, it's a case of our shit don't stink. It's wrong when you do it, but it's cool when we do it. Like Iran stopping ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. You heard the Trump administration. You can't just stop ships in international waters. That's wrong. Well, we had no problem stopping ships going from Venezuela to Cuba delivering oil. No problem blowing up drug boats with no proof that drug boat was even coming to America. We're doing it all over the place. Not to mention, we also stopped some ships trying to go through the Strait of Hormuz too. But it's okay when we do it. It's just wrong when they do it. I don't know. Maybe that makes me unpatriotic to even point that shit out. Tap the screen. Get us up over the 100,000 hump. MAGA Reacts is so dumb, stupid. How dumb can you be? This dude is off his nut, man. and he can't even tell the difference between a dog and a duck. Evil. Tell us how you really feel. That was kind of evil indeed. Damn. Tap the screen real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. We the Rebel says this dude is either gaslighting or has the memory of a goldfish. I really hope you ain't talking about me, Reed. I think you're talking about my caller. I'm gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt. I think you're talking about my caller. We the Rebel. JC says Tim just destroyed you on the suicidal argument. That makes no sense to me. That you're going to start a war with a country suggesting that they're suicidal, and then all of a sudden think you're going to accomplish things with the same country by threatening to kill them. That's like having somebody on a bridge threatening to take their own life. You dial the police, and the police show up and say, if you don't get down off that damn bridge, I'm going to shoot you. That makes no sense. That's what he's there for. So if Iran is hell-bent on self-harm as the Trump administration suggests, why would you think you're going to accomplish shit by bombing them? Man, it makes no sense. Finland, and the only reason I'm not there is because Trump is dying. Soon it'll get better. Damn, William, you saying Trump is dying. What is that based on? Real quick, I'm going to change the poll shortly. 620 respondents came through. Is Netanyahu controlling President Trump? Out of 622 respondents, it's an even 60-40 split. 60% say yes. 60% say yes, he is controlling President Trump. You ain't seen that, mother ducker. What do you think? Aaron, you vote for a white man who said black journalists ask stupid questions. Don't know what that pertains. So let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with the program, and we'll go straight to one of my subscribers that love to cruise. Good evening, love to cruise. You are truly appreciated and awesome. Thanks, Kenneth, I think. Good evening, Cruz. What's up?
Hey, good evening to you.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing, I think we're supposed to be doing awesome. Apparently, Trump has gotten a second Iranian deal that is promising to be significantly better than what Obama did. What say you?
When you pass on a lie, Tim, you a lie.
Well, I'm only passing on what we've been told.
Once again, you're a grown-ass man. You know better. You know what's going on, man. That's a lie anyway. And let me tell you something. I hear a lot of people say they want Trump to die and this and that.
Oh.
I don't want him to die.
No.
I want him to stick around, and after his presidency, hear everybody talk about him and this and that. That would drive him crazy. More than death. See, if death is over with, he won't feel it. But if he's around after his presidency, man, that would drive him crazy.
I think you know something. I actually think I think you're probably right about that. To see his legacy being torn apart, they're going to be going after his children and shit because they've ill-gotten gains and things like that. I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Man, it'd be going crazy, man. It would be going total. I would love it. It'd be really a good laugh every day. But yes, I don't dying, that's like when people go out there and kill a bunch of people, then shoot themselves. You don't get no satisfaction that day. You want them to go to trial and feel it.
Well, speaking of trial, I don't expect Trump to ever be held for trial for anything in America because he can pardon himself, I think. Mike DeSella, thank you for that mustache. But let me ask you this. There is a really good chance that the word war crimes will come up in regards to President Trump, whether it's the Venezuelan boats, whether putting Cuba in the dark. He has committed actual acts that might be considered as war crimes. Not to mention, I guess the Iranian school could probably qualify if you really look at it. Do you think the United States, if you had all liberals in there, and they in the Interpol or the Hague or whatever it's called, do you think the Democrats would hand him over?
That's a good question. I doubt it.
Yeah, I do too.
I doubt it.
Would you want them to if it was held up for a vote? Would you, as a voter? Because I agree with you. I don't think the Democrats would set such a precedent. But if you were a voter and you had to vote on it, would you vote for them to do that?
Wow, that's another good question. I probably would. If they brought up everything the way you just brought it up, yeah, I would, because it would flash back in my mind, especially the boats and everything. Well, if they just flat out ask me without bringing everything up, stirring everything up again, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, because it sets an awful precedent. I mean, obviously there's going to be Democrats in the future that may make a mistake or do so. I'm sure if you look in Obama or Biden's past or Bill Clinton's past, there's probably, look, we're always fucking with other countries. It happens probably more under right-leaning leadership, but even under the Democrats, we still are involved in other people's shit. So my guess is every president in our lifetime has probably committed at least one or two acts, killed somebody that didn't deserve to be killed, took over a country that was and did some wrong shit. That they probably all could be charged if you really look at it.
But you know, we have turned over Nazi war criminals in the past. Now they don't have the status of the president,
right?
But we have turned them over in the past. So I really think it depends on which country asks us.
I'm trying to think. I mean, he didn't commit any war crimes in Greenland because that's an ally. He hasn't. I mean, he's threatened some allies, but he hasn't done anything to them. So, I mean, any country that asks us is not going to be an ally with a lot of power.
Yeah, you know, I take that back because even though he's a dickhead, he knows still a lot of American secrets. And,
oh shit, he knew all of them.
Yeah, we could have changed a lot before then. You know, but I still, whatever he knows, I don't know if I want to go into the enemy hands.
Yeah. No, I mean, if for some reason, you know, just like let's say for instance you commit a violent crime in California and you know you flee the state and you get caught in Arkansas. Arkansas can get California to make promises before they hand you over, like take the death penalty off the table or something like that. So if we handed them over, we could, or in some cases, Arkansas may say, we will make sure he's punished, but we're going to put him in jail here. I mean, so we could actually, and I know we're way off in fairy tale land here, but you could have him held accountable, but let's say put him on Guantanamo somewhere where his ability to leak those secrets that you're concerned about is neutralized.
Well, if I was going to put him somewhere, I'll put him with what's an alligator place?
You gonna put an 80-year-old man on Alligator Island?
Right in there.
Oh
right
my
in there,
God.
motherfucker.
Oh my God.
You know, if we're going to do it, let us do it, but not anybody else.
Well,
you ever hear the thing, let our family take care of our family?
I know what I've never heard the statement exactly like that, but I know what you mean. Keep it in the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything to Trump because half the family thinks he's president. I got folks who say Trump is the best president we've ever had. Right now they're saying that.
Let me tell you something at this point. MAGA, some of MAGA, like MAGA Reacts and Dumbass Street, whatever the ball-headed dude you be going to see.
You talking about Straight Talk Commerce?
Yeah, that dumb motherfucker. If you're invested so far into it, I think it's just a matter of them knowing that, you know, this is going south, but they don't want to take the ridicule at this point. MAGA Reacts, if Trump goes south and keep on going south the way he's going, he won't be on this. You won't even hear from him no more.
I don't know about that. I mean, but you do raise a good point.
You know how many galaxies will be coming up?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get one today. But you do raise a good point because you if you keep defending them and it does go the way it looks like it's going, you're going to be on video and audio and you'll be on the wrong side of history. Like a lot of folks that were spitting on little black schoolgirls and shit like that. They didn't want to be, you know, caught on video so that decades later their grandkids can look at their grandfather spitting on a 7 or 8-year-old. But MAGA, a lot of MAGA are continuing to quadruple down on this. So if it goes the way you're saying, they will be on the wrong side of history.
They will be, but at this point, you have to double down. Once you tell a lie, just like me telling a lie, you got to keep on telling it and going by it and not give it up, you know, until you just hope something break and everybody forget about it. But they are sunk too deep into it to back out now. Now, you got the other ones, like Jeremy and everything, they got out way ahead of time. You know, okay, we'll take a little bit of this and we'll be done with it. But straight talk dumbass and mega reacts and even handsome conservative, they're knee high in it.
Well, here's a conservative says he's not MAGA though. I believe he's listening.
Man, MAGA can be, man. That's bullshit.
He says he's not MAGA. He's a.
Yeah, okay. Handsome conservative don't know what the fuck he is.
Well, he says he's a conservative. He's a traditional conservative.
Yeah, well, that's what he want to believe. He don't talk like it. He doesn't talk like it.
What would be the difference in your opinion between Trump and a traditional conservative?
Oh man, Trump is for Trump, man. I mean, that's all. You can see that now. The worst thing about Trump is getting in with his second time coming in, knowing that there may not be a third time, and he just going buck motherfucking wild. You know, he's in his terrible twos. You know,
terrible twos, huh?
Yeah, he's in his terrible twos. What's going to happen to him? Yeah. You know, he's not running for re-election. You know, when he gets done, he's just going to be gone. But in the meantime, he's going to get all the money and get even with his enemies and everything while he can. You ain't seen nothing, man. Wait till his last year, 6 months. Man,
yeah, you seen? Did you see the one? Did you see the clip of Gavin Newsom saying that Trump has now had the DOJ come after him and his wife?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Give me a second because I haven't played, but I think it's worthy of going into again. But Gavin, this actually broke right before I went live, so I mean it's still fairly new news, but apparently Trump is going after him now too.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees, not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president, because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history.
Do you agree with him saying that? The most corrupt president in American history, though?
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Bar none is not even nowhere close. Right? Yeah.
That's a strong statement. That's a really strong statement.
Come on, man. Just yesterday, the man had a UFC fight on the White House lawn.
He also had motocross. They were doing motorcycle stunts and shit.
Yeah, they were doing everything there. Come on, man.
You know, I watched that shit, and I remember saying, I was watching it with somebody, and I'm like, this is something you never would have thought. This is almost like watching the Pope at a hip-hop concert twerking. Like, you never would expect to see this on the White House lawn, an actual cage fight, and they doing motocross and shit. Like, this is way beyond the professionalism of the White House. Like, I could not, somebody said it's ghetto. That's a perfect way of describing it. But it's just, I guess you would say redneck or something. But you're right. If you had an African American in there doing this kind of shit, it would be called ghetto. That is exactly how I would describe it.
Wait, look here, man. I gotta give the motherfucker credit for one thing. He got to have a hell of an imagination. Because there's no way anybody would have thought there's gonna be motorcycle ride and a UFC fight on nobody in the United States would have said that. So whatever he's doing, man, he's creative as fuck.
But he making you and me pay for this shit. It would be fine if you was coming up with nice slick tricks and paying for all this stuff yourself, but he's having military parades on his birthday. We're paying for that. He's had a UFC fight on this year's birthday. I guess when he turns 81, there'll probably be something on his birthday at the White House every year. And the idea that all of this stuff is being paid for by private donors, just like the ballroom is going to be 100% paid for until it wasn't. I don't believe that. I believe we're paying for this stuff. I mean, I don't. It's slick, but it's also kind of like a heist.
What are you really surprised by this, knowing his the way he operated when he was a civilian?
This is so. I mean, listen. When he was a civilian, we didn't know about a lot of the intricate details of his life. So I can't say. But he didn't have as much power as he's had. But when you look at what he's doing as president and what he's doing with the amount of power he has as president, yeah, you got to assume as a civilian he was doing some shady shit. Because he was a fairly powerful citizen too. So when he was a citizen, you got to assume he was doing some shady shit.
Yeah, you got to. And what he was doing as a citizen doesn't compare as what he's doing as a president, but if you're doing that as a citizen, then hell yeah, we know you're going to do it as a president.
Yeah.
And he took all these in his first term, we had guardrails up. We don't have nothing up now. That White House, his whole administration, yes, Mr. Trump, bend over, your ass tastes good, Mr. Trump.
Damn. And I see in the comments, Flock pushes back by saying this stuff could have been paid for by the tariffs. They're still suggesting that the tariffs are bringing in profits. By the way, the tariffs were ruled illegal by the Supreme Court, and they're still trying to determine how we're going to pay them back. So you can't spend the money from the tariffs.
What you say his name was Flock?
Flock, yes, like a flock of seagulls.
Oh, well, you need to go find them motherfucking seagulls, because he's dumb motherfucker, man. You need to go find him, man. That is some stupid. Hey, let me tell you something. The man is ill. How do you go to sleep in the middle of a Knicks game?
And the UFC fight. You fell asleep. Yeah.
UFC fight. Okay, that's the Knicks arena, which is closed in. And I'm watching on TV, and we can barely hear the announcers. And you're in there. It got to sound like a couple of 747s taking off.
He's really tired. He was really tired. Seemed like he would have an assistant or somebody that would poke him, though. Like, sir, you know how this is going to look. Just get him out of there. I mean, if he's sleeping, get him up and get him out of there. He can make up a million excuses.
At one point, him and Dolan were both asleep. They choked. Look like both of the motherfuckers sleep, but man, that's crazy to go to sleep at it. How can you go to sleep in that?
Well,
you know how noisy it was?
I had a brother.
And then his dumb ass put his saluting at the national anthem.
Yeah, He's standing next to Dana White of the UFC. Dana White doing it right. He got his hand over his heart. Trump is up there saluting. Like, don't you see what this dude standing next to you is doing?
Man, that was some stupid ass shit, man. He saluted at the national anthem. I said, look at this. Yeah, this motherfucker losing it.
I remember Obama getting off, I think Marine One, getting off the Marine One helicopter and not saluting the guy that was standing there once, and they gave him all kinds of flack. Or Obama doing a debate on, I think the Democrats did a debate on stage and the flag wasn't back there or something like that.
Oh yeah, right. You didn't have the lapel. Right?
Yeah. They were going, not having a flag lapel pin. This guy's saluting the anthem. I mean, it is amazing at how different they're treating Trump versus a lot of this other anti-flag, anti-patriotic stuff that they had a problem with Obama. It is, I mean, the hypocrisy is fairly obvious on that.
And man, and then at the Knicks game, he said, well, it was a nice crowd. They were cheering me. You got to be kidding me, man. You got, please.
Well, there were some. I'm sure some of them. I mean, he got resounding boos at the Knicks game, but I'm sure some of them were cheering him. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Everybody within 5 or 6 feet might have been cheering him, because they were right there. But come on, the majority, motherfuckers outside was booing him. I know that.
Well, he couldn't hear. Yeah, he couldn't hear what was outside though. He's surrounded by people who paid tens of thousands of dollars to get in that game. surely many of them are Trump supporters. A lot of them folks that were inside Madison Square Garden are probably Trump supporters. I got to move it on, but we heard the boos. Go ahead, last word.
You can have 1,000 people, but there's 17,000 in there, so that leaves 16,000 other people booing you. You can't tell that.
You could obviously hear on the audio he was getting booed. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying how you trying to cover shit up. Man, like I said, I don't want nothing to happen to the man. I want the man to suffer a slow death. Like hearing all these motherfuckers after he leaves. Because see, everybody ain't got to kiss his ass no more once he leaves. You know, they're going to give him the big middle finger, man. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, watch how the Republicans change on them. We ain't got to kiss your ass no more. You ain't the
amount of book deals that are going to be anti-Trump that comes from the Republican members of Congress, Senate, governors, it's going to be legion. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to come forward. Just like when January 6th resulted in them folks going to court, they were like, well, you know, they were blaming him for it. And there's going to be plenty of folks in Congress and all of that. Yeah, once they are no longer fearful of him, some of them are going to come forward and be saying he was doing bad shit. But that's in the future.
It's going to be the ones that suffer,
but shit, they're the ones that's raking in the dough, so they should be. I got to move it on, though, Cruz. Thanks for coming through.
All right, hey, thanks a lot.
Anytime. Appreciate it. The whole tariff thing, somebody indicated that maybe the money that's being paid for all this lavish stuff for Trump is coming from the money he made for tariffs. First of all, I don't believe that's the case because I'm not even sure we're profiting from the tariffs. But let's say that is true. You realize how selfish and self-centered that would look? To have the current economy we have, where people are talking about they got food insecurity, can barely put gas in their car. And for you to use money you profited from the tariffs to do shit for yourself. You realize how that don't make it look any better. In fact, that makes it look worse. You'd almost want to be admitting that the tariffs didn't produce any money, as opposed to saying, yeah, we are making money from the tariffs. See, Trump is spending it on himself. That makes it look worse to say something like that. And somebody in the comments did say that. Maybe the money he's using to buy all this stuff is coming from the tariffs. He's not doing anything for the American people of any significance, but he's building tribunal arches and ballrooms and shit. So I'm just going to pocket all the money for myself. You know, I was talking to one of my MAGA friends at work today, an older guy, older than I am. So that's showing you he's an older guy. And he's starting to be a little bit disappointed for Trump. He still obviously would never have voted for Kamala Harris. But I was, I told him, I said, it's as if we elected Trump because we grew tired of having illegal immigrants coming in this country and getting on welfare or health care and our tax money going to these illegals, or our tax money going to folks who chose not to get a job and sit on their ass all day and get welfare. We didn't want our tax money going to all of that shit. So we said, we're going to elect President Trump, and we would just rather give all our money to you, sir. That's what it seems like. To me, that's what it seems like. I don't want my money going to all these. I would just rather you, sir, you take it. I would rather it go to you, because that's what it seems like is what's happening, is that he can tap in and get money for anything he needs anytime he wants right out of the taxpayers conference. We would just rather our money go to you. And of course, MAGA ain't complaining about none of that stuff. Anything he wants, they come up with a reason why that's justified. In the comment section, though, we do get, I suppose, some intolerance, some stereotypes, some racism, if you will. Because I saw a comment here coming from, I think it says Shanta Gopal, says most Black people are on welfare. I would submit to you, even though I think we've made a lot of progress in America to get away from racism, but I would submit to you that America still remains racist enough that if most Black people were getting welfare, they would end the welfare program entirely. They would end it. They would just get rid of it entirely. If most African Americans, let's say 50%, not even most, if I think even if 40% of African Americans were sitting around collecting welfare, they would get rid of that program. That's how confident I feel there is still some racism floating around in this country. Not to mention your comment is racist as fuck too. To suggest that your comment is racist. Anyway, looking in the comments, continuing on, he paid bonuses with his own personal crypto, advised others to invest in his crypto. The entire presidency so far, as especially past week, he's shifting and accepting more money from other countries. All I know is this. It's pretty obvious Trump is doing exceptionally well financially and the country is not. That's all I need to see. He is doing exceptionally well financially, and most of the country is not. That's a problem in itself. That right there is a problem in itself. You're on our team, and you're making all the money. You know, you got the salary cap so fucked up that we got to go to high school and we got to go to high school to get the other players, so they're paying you so much. That don't look right. That does not look right. That's what I see. That everybody else ain't eating. He's doing very well, and everybody else is not eating. Fix that. That's all I'm going to say. Looking in the comments, hardcore racism was over until the Democrats realized they needed it. Okay. Right. If you believe that, then okay. You think hardcore. What is your definition of hardcore racism? I'd have to find that out first. I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, you say it was over until Democrats realized they needed it. So what are you suggesting, that in Republican states where you have no Democrats around because the mayor's Republican, there's no racism there, huh? So all you got to do is go to a red state and live in a red city, and you'll be racism free. Probably end up right in the middle of a sundown town saying that, though, but okay. Aren't they trying to develop an all-white town in Arkansas? Plenty of Democrats, huh? All liberals running that town, huh? Okay, I'm learning. Reports have come out that Donald Trump's teenage son, Barron Trump, has enriched themselves over $150 million since Donald Trump took office. Not only do I believe that's true, I believe that is woefully less than the actual amount. I believe they're gonna be. Donald Trump Jr. Barron, what is his name? Barron Jr. or Barron Trump rather, defense contracts and shit for a 20-year-old. How the fuck that happens? So yeah, I absolutely believe that they're getting super rich while the average American is complaining about the price of a gallon of gas. It just looks backwards to me. How are you today, Tim? I'm getting things together. We're good. Shun Hall. Tap the screen. By the way, we do have another poll. Is Trump guilty of committing war crimes? Yikes. Much closer. 105 respondents so far. It's almost kind of like down the middle. 52% say yes, 48% say no. So that's more than just MAGA if it continues that way, because MAGA is only about 30% of the voting public. So if it continues that way, then that's going to be some independents that are saying he hasn't committed war crimes either. Barron's getting paid and Eric is having to bet on fixed UFC fights. I think when it comes to the poly market, they all getting paid. They're making money on Trump's decisions. Them 39 times Trump said we were close to a ceasefire, people getting paid off of that. People are actually making money off of that. If he said we're close to a ceasefire and you hear about gas dropped 10, 15 cents a gallon, to me, and you get MAGA celebrating that, well, see, gas is coming down. It dropped 25 cents last night. You ever work for a company and they do really well financially, had a really good quarter, and they throw for the workers, you get a pizza party, and they get huge dividend checks, huge financial rewards. But you, the worker that is actually put in the work, they throw you guys a pizza party. So maybe you get an extra piece of a slice of pizza for lunch, and they give you an extra 15 minutes or something. To me, that's what this is. He say we're close to a ceasefire, we're close to a deal. You get 10, 15 cents drop per gallon, and people are making gazillions off of that. That's what that 10, 15 cents a gallon reduction, that's your pizza party. Okay, so you filled up and it costs you $4 less to fill up your car. You're celebrating that shit. Meanwhile, that amount, that money, that drop in the price of a barrel of oil is resulting in millions for them. That's to me the pizza party. That's kind of like the pizza party theory. Anyway, looking in the comments here briefly, and thank you folks for tapping the screen, get us up to 111,000. We'll continue on with Courtney Lake. Good evening. Don't be shocked. They told him, give us your crypto or no pardon. Yeah, to me, Trump is essentially selling pardons, in my opinion. Courtney, good evening. Courtney, are you there? Apparently not. He sounds like he's on the phone. All right, so we'll move it on. I guess I must have missed your comment, concern. It says the truth is you're turning a mountain into a molehill, or turning a molehill into a mountain, rather. I don't know what that was in reference to. That was the deal. He owed Americans. He frauded $100 million, and all went away when Trump pardoned him to specifically design a crypto scam. Guy's a crypto genius. He knew it. Yeah, to me, you can buy a pardon from Trump. In fact, when Trump came down the golden escalator, the promise was, finally, we got a politician that's a businessman and he has his own money. Not only does he have his own money, he's not even taking a salary. So that's how you know he cannot be bought. He came on the scene, unlike Obama, he wasn't struggling financially. Unlike Obama, he wasn't, just coming up. He had billions of his, because I think he announced himself he was worth $15 billion. Forbes greatly corrected that, but Trump did say he was worth $15 billion, and he wasn't taking a salary. So MAGA used that to suggest this shows you don't have to worry about Trump being bought and paid for like all the other deep state oriented politicians. And now that he's in there, it's about as clear as day he can be bought. I mean, he's selling phones and sneakers and coins and Bibles and shit. I mean, that's all he is doing, is showing over and over again he can be bought. Selling dinners at his home in Mar-a-Lago to get access to him. I mean, the idea that he couldn't be bought could not be further from the truth. In fact, he's being purchased more than any other president we've seen, because Elon Musk gave him $350 million and he suddenly started liking electric cars. When there's just a whole host of videos of him saying all kinds of negative shit about the range of electric cars, the lack of horsepower. I mean, just making all kinds of crude, schmoo jokes about electric cars. Elon Musk gives him $350 million. He's suddenly on the White House lawn saying, you need to buy one of these motherfuckers. He can be bought. He absolutely can be bought. I think he's proven that over and over again. Life is going to go on. People stop crying. Crying. This is the same shit that was going on when Biden was in office. The only difference is we're criticizing Trump now. When Biden was in office, he was taking his lumps. The watches showed up with Rump on the phone. Something, speaking of that, he's talking about the watches showed up with the name Rump instead of Trump on those Trump watches. I watched a video the other day. They took apart the Trump phone. Remember this whole phone scam where everybody put money down and they weren't even getting their phones? Well, people have started getting the phones now. And a couple of IT guys put the phone into some type of big ass X-ray machine or something, so they could X-ray through the phone and see what the components were inside the phone. And they were able to quickly ascertain this is a regular HTC phone that came out in 2024. And then once they did the scan, they then slowly opened it up and started looking at the components to confirm it was an HTC phone. Not only did they confirm it was an HTC phone, they were able to take out parts of the Trump phone and swap them with the HTC phone, and everything worked. The only difference is the ROM or the RAM. When you first turn the phone on, it says Trump, whereas you turn on an HTC, you can easily take that and program that on the chip for what the phone says when it first comes on. But they were literally able to make the HTC phone say Trump when you turn it on, and Trump phone to say HTC by just removing a few parts, the cameras, the flash, everything was completely reversible. And as Rooster in the comments is pointing out, it's like $100 phone. It's a phone from 2024, so it's not even the latest and greatest phone to come out. It's old technology. So they just sold him some shit and put Trump's name on it. And this don't just pertain to that phone, folks. Trump is also selling a gold coin with his face on the front of it. And they were able to show the weight of the amount of gold that they claim it is. If it is the same purity that the Trump administration is claiming, for the weight, the amount of gold that's on this coin should make the coin worth about $4,500. They're charging $12,000 for it though. So all you're getting is gold that has Trump's face stamped on it. And for that stamp, you're now going to pay an additional $8,000 or more. I mean, it's crazy. The guy is just, look, it ain't tricking if you got it. Shout out to Trump for being able to do that. Shout out to Trump for being able to do that. Anything he puts his face on, there's a lot of folks who just want to buy it at a great markup, if you will. Remember his sneakers were going for like $399 a pair? Think about the markup on that. It's like buying a pair of Jordans or something like that without the resale value of, you can resell Jordans off the time, get your money back. So, I mean, everything he's doing has been like that. He's making a killing doing this shit. The watches, the cologne, all this shit. I mean, he's making a killing. Shout out to him. I don't know, like I said, the idea though that he had his own money and couldn't be bought is crazy, because the numbers will eventually come out one day about how much money Trump made in this second 4-year term. The numbers will come out and they're going to be astonishing. I'm sure that when you get the accurate numbers of how much Trump has made in these 4 years, if he serves out 4 years or whatever the case may be, it's probably going to be more than all the other presidents that you lived through combined. It's probably going to be more than all of them combined. Ed Luck, what is it? Back was one of the largest Democrat donors. I don't know what you're saying there. I would think whoever was going to run better be making their rounds now, but they say it is political sabotage. No, it's still too early. Think about it. Right now, what is this? 2026, June 2026. So we're talking a little bit more than 2 years until we vote in the national election. So Trump ran in 2000. Trump won 2016. He won the 2016 election for his first time. So go back 2 years and some months. So now we're talking 2014. In June of 2014, Trump had not announced he was running for president yet. He came down the golden escalator in 2015. So you don't need to be coming out right now, because if you come out right now and announce you're running, they're going to start bashing you early. That's where the commercials and the political revenue is going to go, to start attacking you now. They're not going to come out now and announce it. What you do is you make sure people know who the hell you are, and they can think you're coming out. But no, you don't announce it. I don't think Obama won in 2008. In June of 2006, he had not announced he was going to run either. So it's still slightly early. This far ahead is kind of early. They don't normally announce that soon. Anyhow, I do appreciate the 118,000 likes, but you know what time it is. I appreciate you folks tuning in as always. If you enjoy this type of civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, we don't block, ban, or censor. We always are about free speech. Feel free to support the program and certainly give us a follow if you're watching on Substack, Instagram, TikTok, or currently live on Clapper. If you're watching us live on any of those programs, those platforms right now, follow the program. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Until then, as the Family Zoboy said, have a blessed night, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I got to go. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube.